It's not that you don't know how to do open houses, it's that there's just a way now, especially in our market, how to market them the right way, because the goal of an open house is to get more people in that are unrepresented. So there's a way to market them in a correct way, and there's also a way to run them in a way where we can now with technology capture every single lead that comes in, so we can actually follow up with them. So we had an open house. I helped an agent do an open house on Saturday, marketed it the right way. It was a condo in Old Town, and we marketed it the right way. And we had 15 groups come in, 12 did not have agents, and 12 don't have agents. Not only did they not have agents with them, they don't have agents. And it was a $700,000 condo. And at the end of it, they all are looking to buy, and 3 have other areas, other condos in the area to sell, and they want to upsell. So that's 3 sellers and 12 buyers in one open house. But if you market it the wrong way, then everybody comes in with an agent that they got online. So why would you just want to hold a door open? I mean, it's just unbelievable. And that seller ended up calling and canceling the listing because they had a little marital quabble, and they decided they weren't going to sell yet. And so as a realtor, this is happening a lot in this market right now. You guys, we have a house go on the market, we do all this marketing, we take pictures, and then they cancel. Hi, Nicole. And then we are out a listing and we're out of commission. Right. And so we don't take advantage of using that listing while it's in coming soon, while it's the day it goes active and generating leads off of it. We're losing leads, and now we have nothing. And then we're back on the hamster wheel. We're like, oh my God, I lost the listing. They canceled. They're not going to sell now. Now what do? I was counting on that it was going to sell in 24 hours. And we had 6 cash offers on it, and they canceled, and they said, we're not going to sell now. Right. But the fact that we got 12 leads out of it and 3 potential sellers, it's not as much of a hit, right? Where it's like, okay, well, at least I had the opportunity to generate leads. And you want to know what our cost per lead was? Nothing. So we're going to talk about that today. And I have, Nicole, how much time do you have?
I've got some time. Yeah. I mean, okay. I just have to dash another appointment at 9:30. So yeah, I know. Okay. I'm in the car. Sorry. I'm like,
no, that's okay. That's okay.
It's not ideal.
Your hair looks amazing, by the way. Your hair looks absolutely beautiful. Oh my gosh, you look fantastic. So I'm going to introduce everybody really quick to Nicole Clabby. I asked her to come on as a guest because she's actually taken and actually followed our program for what now, 6 or 9 months, and
yeah,
never do it any other way now. So go ahead, Nicole. I'm going to let you talk for like a couple minutes to tell everybody. Go ahead.
Right. It's so funny. I reached out to Shannon. I knew she was killing it with this the system that she has in her Open Houses Direct system and the app. And I reached out to her. I think it was a little over about a year ago. I said, Shannon, I need your help. She's like, oh my God, I was just going to call you. So we started talking, and it was funny because I was so resistant to, first of all, putting up cell phone photos and they're coming soon. Oh my gosh, what? And it wasn't a big deal. And I followed the system, and I know it sounds too easy, but you have to follow the steps, and it works fantastically well. I have a coming soon right now, and I'll be honest with you, Shannon, my clients are getting super antsy, and it's hilarious because we even have it's not funny really, but we have less inventory than we did this time last year. And my clients, we got the pictures done a little early, and they didn't want to list till March, so we're doing the open house this Saturday, and they're antsy as all. They're freaking out that they're not going to have anybody at their open house,
right?
And I'm like, you guys, trust me, I know what I'm doing. Every single house that I've listed this way has gone the first weekend, multiple offers above list, every single one, because of this system. I even had one, I've had a couple where the open houses weren't that great as far as a ton of people, but the illusion that it gives to the buyer's agents and the buyers make people hop on and get that offer in and give me an amazing offer. Because if you just kind of list it on a Wednesday and it's no big deal and it's no coming soon, And even in this market, you're going to get some offers, but this system really makes people jump to give you a bunch of offers, and then they're competing against each other. And then your seller has a pick of the litter. It's awesome. It happens every single time, even if an open house isn't gangbusters. It really does make this whole system makes it work. And I'm making it sound too simple, but it really is. You just follow the system and it works.
Well, I just remember Nicole had said to me after like 3 or 4 months, I'm sick that I didn't do this like a year ago.
Me too.
Right?
Yep.
There's a number of she did I love the one where she did a condo in McCormick Ranch, and she actually beat out another agent that offered the seller $850,000, and she's like, I can sell it for $1 million. And they're like, okay, go for it, but I have to do it my way. Like here's how I have to do it. Here's how I have to run it. Here's where I'm going to make it active. I have to have an open house on it. And not only did you get multiple offers over $1 million, but she got a neighbor come over that asked her to put her $1.5 million house on the market because of how she ran the open house. So that's what this does. It's not just the listing, because you're going to get a buyer in this market. It's that you're going to get a buyer, but you also want to get more clients out of it. We're actually giving up our listings. And that's why, as an open house agent, if you're new, there's a lot of agents, you guys, that don't want to do open houses on their coming soons. Those are the ones you want to reach out to and say, hey, the day your house goes active, can I have it open for you? It's going to be a day of showings. I'll just be there. But I'm going to talk more about that. But I just wanted Nicole to come on because she's been with us for about a year and she's killing it. And so we're also going to tell you to follow her on social media only because you're a newer agent, you have to get comfortable on social media, but it doesn't mean you have to do, videos of yourself or whatever. It's just every time you're doing anything in real estate, you publish it so people know you're a realtor, because that's the biggest thing with our sphere of influence. Like on my social media pages, I have thousands of people following me, but you know what? They might not all know I'm a realtor unless I'm posting that I'm out at an open house or that I'm at a photography shoot or I'm at whatever. And doesn't mean that there's not a lot of pictures of me necessarily, but there's pictures of what I'm doing, my clients, things like that. So she's really been good, and she's getting leads off of her social media, not from saying, hey, I'm an agent, list with me, because I see those ads all the time. It's the sphere of influence that sees how involved she is and how active she is, and decides, oh my gosh, I'm going to call Nicole, because she's like, she's in it. She's out there. She's like doing it. So we're going to talk about that. But thank you, Nicole. I definitely appreciate you coming on today. And she's really busy. So I said, come on and just say hi. So she's
no, like, of course. I mean, I can't emphasize enough. The system helps you as an agent, but also if your client is resistant, tell them this is going to help you get more offers and more money for your house. So there's so many benefits to it. It's a no-brainer.
Well, and when I met Nicole, we were at the same brokerage years ago, and she was struggling. She was about to give up. And she just said, you know what? I'm going to jump into open houses. I'm going to jump into them. And that's why I initially reached out to her when I launched our program, because I knew that she went from really about to get another job to crushing it, being like the #1 agent at RE/MAX. I mean, from open houses. And so that's why I love her so much, because that's what I did when I was with them as well. As I was like, how am I going to do this? And I just said, I'm just going to get in front of people every weekend. And I went from here to here, I mean, in like a year, and that's what you need to do. But again, now a lot of things have changed. That's what I'm talking to you about today, is how you market them has changed, how we run them has changed, how we follow up with people has changed. We really need to do a lot of that. So thank you, Nicole. We only have 2.5 hours today. I want to make sure everybody's on time, but I really appreciate you coming on.
You're welcome.
She's amazing. So thank you so much. Bye.
You're welcome.
See you later.
Bye.
Yep. Okay. So it looked like a lot of agents. We have all kinds of agents today, which is great. We have some that are newer, some that are not newer. So it's awesome. So I appreciate everybody that's on. Cool. Everybody's in. All right. So I'm going to begin with our presentation, because I know everybody's really busy and everybody has a lot of time. But again, if you guys have any questions at all, we do have my team here checking the chat. So I'd love for you guys, if you have any questions while we're talking. I really want this to be as interactive as possible in order to, but also we have to stay on time, our time track. But I definitely, if you guys have any comments or questions about anything, ask a question in the chat and I will answer it as they come in. I don't want to answer them all at the end because that's a little bit, you miss something, I think, sometimes. So if you guys have anything, I definitely would love to have you guys interact and make comments and things. So, but I'm just going to tell you, I'm going to go over here to present. All right, there we go. Okay. So I already talked to you guys a little bit about who I am. So I've been an agent in Arizona for 15 years, 2015, 2016. I was actually the #3 agent at RE/MAX in Arizona. And I did not pay for one online lead. I did everything through open houses and I got sellers and buyers. And granted, our market was a little bit, wasn't the same then as it is now. Hold on, I want to make sure I have somebody coming in. There we go. But it is something where it hasn't changed that much in regards to now. It's even harder to get leads because we don't have a lot of inventory. So, but I'll tell you, an example is a Saturday, 12 people came in without an agent and they're all hot buyers and 3 have a house to sell. So, you wouldn't meet them online because people aren't wanting to go online anymore. They're wanting to go and find it on their own. They're being abandoned by their agents. Agents aren't interested in working with a buyer right now. But a lot of these buyers, which I'm going to talk about more, 50%, this was a quote by Inman Connect and by Zillow, 50% of people who are coming into an open house and have a house to buy, want to buy, have a house to sell. That's half. That means if you have an open house and you can market it the right way where everybody comes in without an agent, you could get 10 clients coming in and 5 of them are potentially going to have a house to sell. So talk about getting a listing. But then if we take that listing and we don't maximize it again and get more clients out of it, we're giving up our business leads and we're actually giving up the opportunity to grow our business. So I'm just going to give you a little bit about me real quick, but that's what I did. I'm also the CEO and founder of Open Houses Direct, which is the first consumer direct open house marketing app and website for coming soon, and also active properties that have open houses on them. But we also have a technology that verifies every single person that checks into your open house. And I wanted to do that because I was tired of having a sign-in sheet out. Nobody got to the sign-in sheet, and then they would sign in. I wouldn't remember who anybody was. I couldn't read the email. I couldn't read the phone number. The phone number's wrong. And if I'm going to sit there for 4 hours, why am I there? Right? There's a lot of reasons why, but it doesn't really protect the seller either if I can't tell them who came in because everybody hand wrote on a piece of paper. So the technology we have at Open Houses Direct also verifies a name and a phone number instantly when somebody walks in the door. And talk about an easy way to follow up, to get 12 leads. The 12 leads this agent got on Saturday, she can follow up with all 12 leads with a verified phone number and email address. I mean, that's like, and you know who they are, and they're all responding. I mean, text marketing is just huge right now. It's the easiest way to communicate with somebody in real time. Emails get they might go to spam. They might get lost in all the other spam emails. A text message is instant. And I'll tell you, the response time is incredible on somebody that you met if you're asking them or you're offering them something that they don't have without you. So we also created Open House Masters, which is our open house coaching program. It is about open houses, but it's also about not only how to run an open house, but how to convert the leads once you get them in the door, because that's the biggest thing. How do we follow up? How do we convert them? What conversations do we have? And the agents who are taking this are exponentially growing their business 3 times in like 1 month. And I love it because I created it. I love helping agents. What I learned, what I know, it took me 15 years to learn. And as a newer agent or as an agent in this market trying to generate leads, if you are running an open house the right way, you will have more leads than you know what to do with. And Nicole is an example of that. She has a ton of leads. And I mean, every time I see her, she has a new house coming on the market. So I am the head coach at Open House Masters. I'm also the CEO of Open House Direct. And then we have Angel Harris. She's our membership director. She's our technology director. She actually creates all our binders and our scripts for all of our agents. And then Maria is our social media director. And we're going to talk about that too, because social media is a really big thing in real estate. But it is, again, it's how you do it, like just like anything else. I always compare it to a car lot. Like if I go on a car lot, right? I don't want to go buy a car. Everybody that goes to buy a new car, that you're dodging the guy that comes out, right? Trying to track you down in the parking lot. But the guy that's like not invasive and the one that really is having a conversation and, hey, just call me whenever you're ready. That's the one you want to work with. And that's the same thing with social media, is you want it to be like an indirect way of telling people, hey, I'm a realtor and I'm a good realtor. The thing about Nicole, she's so busy. She's always saying new listing, new this, blah, 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 new closing, new open house. And the thing about open houses is open houses are kind of the way you can, if you're newer or you don't have any houses on the market, you can market an open house. Nobody knows it's not your own listing. It doesn't mean that you say, hey, look at my new listing, but you can say, hey, come to my open house, because it is my open house, right? But nobody knows it's not yours. Obviously, if they go online, they see the agent's name, but it's something where it's a great way to show people how active you are without having your own listings. And it's a great way to generate your own listings and buyers from it. So, so we're just going to talk about a little bit about what this is. Open Houses Direct, like I said, it created the way for you to promote your open houses, whether you are the open house agent or listing agent. So we are the only consumer direct platform that you can advertise an open house as an open house agent if you aren't the listing agent. You can also obviously advertise it, but we also have a way to advertise it coming soon directly to consumers. I feel like right now, if I went in the MLS, I bet there's 1,500 coming soons that are sitting in the MLS and they aren't getting marketed to the consumer anywhere. They're just sitting there. And there's no reason to do that. If you're not going to take that coming soon, doesn't mean it can be in the MLS as a coming soon, but take that and market it directly to buyers. Again, we're losing the opportunity to generate more clients from our listings. And it's a great way. And there's also a lot of other things we can do. Then we have Open House Masters. It's the actual process of running an open house, how to find one if you don't have any, what the optimal open house would be. And if we run it the right way, we're going to convert sellers and buyers. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So today, what we're going to talk about is why open houses are the #1 way to generate leads. I just kind of talked about that, and what the coming soon gold mine is. And again, it doesn't have to be your own coming soon. There's a lot of agents that think that if they have an open house, that they're only going to get buyers. And that is not true. They are going to get buyers and sellers. So, and I just want to make sure everybody knows that after this class today, you are going to get emailed this recording. So if you wanted to, if there's any information in here that you guys are going to want, you are going to be able to take that. So, okay. So our mission as realtors, your business is your gift. I don't know if any of you follow Tony Robbins, but this is like, he's one of my favorite motivational speakers and kind of business coaches. And the one thing is, like, at an open house, if you're going to convert leads, you have to want to be there, right? And if you run it the right way, you're going to look different. You are going to look professional. You're not going to have a piece of paper with a sign in and a pen. You're going to have technology. You're going to have a reception desk. You're going to have, and people come in and they notice it. Sellers notice it. They want you to do it at their house, because nobody wants an open house with 100 people in it. Nobody's checking in. I'll tell you right now, as a seller, if a neighbor comes over to meet you and you have 100 people in that house and you don't have any way of registering anybody and it's just a mess, they are not going to hire you to do that at their house. But if you come over, if they come over and you have a check-in system and everybody that checks in, that comes in has to check in, and you're not having 15 people in an occupied house at one time, and you have somebody helping you, there's a lot of things. I mean, the lead conversion on that, I mean, it's just amazing how many agents say a neighbor came over and hired me because of how I was running the open house. And that is happening. That is true. And it's awesome when you see it happen. But again, if you truly do more for them than anybody else in your industry and more than anybody else expects, then you'll not only succeed, but you'll make a difference and you'll build a brand, which means that you guys need to do things that other agents aren't. Do you want to know how many open houses that I help agents on right now? Well, we have a buyer come in that has been looking at open houses for 4 months and doesn't have an agent. 4 months. And I'll tell you right now, they have an agent after they're at our open house. Heck yeah, because I'm going to offer them, I'm going to talk to them about, you can't be in this industry without an agent. You can't be in this market without an agent. I tell them half of my buyers right now are under contract with houses that never hit the market, and you will never be able to find them without me. You know, and it's amazing. The conversion goes, here's my email address, here's my phone number. How do I work with you? I mean, and agents who are, it's amazing, but there is a way to do that. And otherwise they just walk into an open house, nobody registers them. Half the time the agent's in the kitchen sitting down, they haven't talked to them. They don't even get up from their chair, right? And then they don't convert them. And then they go to the next open house, same thing. Like we have clients coming in that say, you're the first open house in 3 months that has ever required me to register, check in, especially with verified technology. It is so easy. Our technology, they enter a name and a phone number. That's it. And the phone that they're holding is the phone number they have to give you, not their home phone number. I don't want that. I want the phone. I want to know who you are and why you're walking in so I can follow up with you. I don't care if they have an agent or not. The only time I would not check them in is if they have an agent with them. If they do not have an agent with them, they're getting checked in, because I'm not, oh, I have an agent. Great. Are they here? No, great. Then I'm checking you in because I don't know who you are. So, does anybody have any questions or comments yet? Anything? All right. So if anybody put a house on the market in 2021, you know that this is what your open house looked like. I mean, I've never seen a market like this in my life. In my entire career of real estate, have I seen open houses warrant 25 to 50 people. We have an agent that just completed our coaching program, and she called an agent that had a $1.6 million coming soon listing in 85259 zip code. And she said, can I hold your house open the day it goes active? And she said, absolutely, no problem. And she said, but I don't want you to put it on the market. I just want to have a coming soon open house preview. So she put it on Open Houses Direct. You want to know how many people she got in? 60 people came into her $1.6 million coming soon listing. And it was not on Zillow and it was not on Redfin. So she does not know what to do. She's calling me going, Shannon, I don't know how to, I don't know what I'm going to do with all these leads. She said, it's unbelievable. So we taught her how to get everything on like going, and we're getting her on a follow-up system. We're getting her set up, because I'm like, you have to, because the minute this market shifts, can you imagine having 60 new clients that are in the $1.6 million range? And again, statistically, half of those have a house to sell eventually. And I know a lot of those, and they do have a house to sell, but they're not selling until they're buying, until they find a house to buy. And that's just our market. But the market shifts a little and inventory comes up. You're now going to get two sides on that one client, and you're going to have so much to do. You're not going to be able to have an open house for 6 months, which is ideal, right? So, all right. So that's an example of what happens. So open houses do work. They generate buyer and seller leads. They are the hottest lead you can get physically in front of. An online lead, you guys, if you haven't done 100 open houses, I would not be paying for anything online, because online leads are very, very hard to convert. And if they come in, or if it's a lead that comes in from somebody that you haven't met in person, it is really amazing the actual personal interaction is, the conversion would go from a 90% success rate to a 10% success rate on the phone. When they meet somebody in person, you can actually get to know them. It's like and nowadays, I'll tell you, the number of people coming into an open house, when I was actually doing open houses, if I got 10 groups in, like, that was busy. Like, I was like, oh my God, it's a revolving door. I'm so busy, right? Now, if I get 10 in, my agents are calling me. They're going, oh, yeah, it was kind of slow. I only had 10 groups, it's like, and now like, if you have an open house and you only get 9 or 10 groups, that's slow. A busy open house is over 25 groups coming in, and it's a revolving door. So the whole Tony Robbins thing is, how am I going to stand out to 25 people that come into my open house from any other agent that's just holding a door open, right? And we're going to talk about that more today. But and they can also help you farm a neighborhood. You know, there are so many resources, you guys, with your partners. If you're having a coming soon, if you're having an open house in a neighborhood, do you know that you can call your title rep and you could say, hey, I want the email address and phone number of every single person in the neighborhood, right? So everybody in the neighborhood, and then shoot them a text. Imagine being able to text them directly and be like, hey, my name's Shannon. I'm going to be having an open house in your neighborhood over the weekend. I'd love to invite you. It's not on the market yet. It's coming soon. It's coming up, but we're going to do an exclusive coming soon preview. If you have any friends that want to move into the neighborhood, let me know. And here's the information on it, right? I mean, that is the easiest way to farm a neighborhood for an open house. I mean, out of anything. And so to not take advantage of your partners that can offer you resources to do that, you're crazy. So, and we're going to talk about that. We have a title partner coming on who's going to tell you she's amazing and she's seen it. And then it's also a really good way to grow your sphere of influence. Open houses are the way to meet everybody in the neighborhood, meet everybody in the community, put your signs out with your name on them. People will start seeing your name and your signs. So then all of a sudden, let's just say they get a postcard from you, or they come in to an open house and they've seen your signs in the neighborhood or in the community every weekend. Then when they finally meet you, I've had this happen. They're like, oh my gosh, we're so glad we finally met you. We've seen your signs out for 2 months. You know, would you come help us? It shows them that you're full-time, that you're working, even if you're not full-time. It looks like you're full-time. You know, a lot of people have jobs right now, Monday through Friday, and they just hold open houses on Saturday and Sunday. And now we have an agent that's a nurse who is taking our class, who took our course. And she's like, Shannon, I really want to do real estate full-time. And I said, okay. And so she said, but I can only do open houses on the weekend. And she's the one that just got 60 clients from a $1.6 million coming soon. She's like, I think by the middle of 2022, I might be able to reduce my hours at the hospital to hardly anything. This is crazy. After 3 weeks of me teaching her how to do this. So in the chat, what does your timeline for a new listing look like? I'm going to talk about that, Derek. I'm going to go into that for sure, because I'm going to tell you exactly how agents are doing it. And you kind of missed Nicole. I think you came on after, but that's where I taught her. And that's where she just kind of blew up her business. So, and also you guys, 3 out of 4 people hire the first agent that they meet in person, right? That's a really big deal. So if you are the first person that they meet, but you don't want to advertise your open house on the MLS on Tuesday, so that they want information on it and they go to a Zillow agent, and the Zillow agent or the Redfin agent or the realtor.com agent who paid for the lead now comes in and they are the first agent they meet, not you, right? So marketing your open house has changed a lot. And also to create a buzz. This is a really big thing. And it's not really a buzz as much as it is a sense of urgency. If you market it coming soon the right way, and you have an open house the day it goes active, and every single person that comes in at the same time, if you don't think, I mean, and that's what Nicole did on this $1 million. It was, I mean, a fixer upper, you guys. This thing was a fixer upper, but she had a line out the door. And it was, I mean, it needed so much work. And the fact that she got 2 offers over $1 million when she beat an agent out that told her seller that he couldn't get more than $850. The reason she got multiple offers and they bid against each other was because they both showed up at the open house at the same time, right? And they saw each other. So that's what open houses do for that. So I'm going to make sure everybody's muted, because I think there's one person that's not muted. So let me just make sure everybody is muted. I think so. Good. Okay. So setting goals on how many sales you want to complete in 12 months. So if you guys, you know, in a market with low inventory, Open Houses Direct, for example, had 600 open houses on our app in Maricopa County on Saturday, just in Maricopa County. And guess what an open house is? It's active, right? It's available. So for a seller or for a buyer to go on and be like, oh my gosh, there's 600 properties that are actively available for me to purchase today. Like, that's a really cool thing, right? And a lot of buyers are looking now on our app for that, and they are looking for open houses, and they are coming in because they are available, because Zillow and Redfin are having to make things up now. They don't have enough inventory for all the leads that they're trying to sell. And so they make up inventory. It's like pending, it's contingent, it's, it's sold, it's already closed. I've seen that before. I have clients that have sent me something saying, oh, look at this house. I'm like, it closed like 2 months ago. Why is that even on Zillow? Right. And it is because they don't have anything else to put on there. So the thing about open houses is they're available and they're active. So if you have a goal to get, one open house right now will average 10 new leads. Let's just say if you convert 1 out of 20 leads to a sale, that means if you do 2 open houses a month, you can do 1 sale per month. You get 1 new client a month. Let's just say that client also has a house that they have to sell. Now you're getting 2 sales, right? But you're also getting a way to generate more leads. So then that listing can help you generate 10 to 15 new clients. So I'm telling you, I see so many people posting on all the national Facebook forums saying, how are people generating leads in a market with no inventory? How are they doing it? And then I have the agents that are doing this open house system that we have that are like, Shannon, I don't know what I'm going to do with all these leads, right? Because people aren't going online anymore and calling an agent on realtor.com anymore, because by the time they do that, the house is gone. So they are looking for ways to get access to coming soons. And they are looking for ways to get access to, properties that are available for them to purchase. So, and they're not hiring an agent until they find the house that they want. And they're driving around looking outside of their box because they have to. Like if I have a buyer in Greyhawk right now, that they're not going to find anything in Greyhawk up in North Scottsdale. I'm sorry, there's nothing on the market. But what's great about open houses is I always say, drive around the surrounding neighborhood and, see if there's anything in the neighborhood nearby that might fit what you're looking for, rather than just focusing right there, and that's where open houses are so good. So we're going to introduce the CMR method. And does anybody have any questions? Because I know I saw one chat in there, but anybody have any questions for what I talked about so far? Is anybody having any successes with, open houses where they are getting a lot of leads and they are getting people coming in unrepresented? You can put it in the chat if anybody is having any success dates with those. No? Okay. I just want to make sure that everybody knows that you guys can interact and chat, and we'd love to hear some feedback from you for sure. So, okay. So the CMR method is create, market, and run. And this is a trademark method that we created because there is a way to create your open house, to market your open house, and run your open house. And this is kind of, Derek, what you were talking about. You're asking me about the process, and especially a coming soon. Or an open house. If you put your open house, you guys, online too early, every single person is going to come in with an agent. And I see agents that do this and they go, oh, well, I had a great open house, but everybody came in with an agent. When was it on the MLS? Tuesday. When was your open house? Saturday. Why would you do that? Nobody can find you. And the thing about clear cooperation, we're not allowed to put our name and our phone number and our contact info and anything about our open house on Zillow, Redfin, or realtor.com. We're not allowed to do that at all. We're not allowed to put it in the MLS. You can put anything you want on Open Houses Direct. You can put your direct name, your email address, you're having coffee and donuts, we're kid friendly, whatever it is, you can actually put whatever you want on Open Houses Direct, which is why I created that, but you can't do it in the MLS, especially if you are an agent holding an open house for another agent. Nobody will be able to find you, and nobody will be able to find you after the open house if you don't give them your contact information, which means that they have to be able to have a way to find you, not a business card. I do not hand my business cards out at open houses. I don't even bring them. I text them with my information so they have my name, my phone number, and I know how to get a hold of them. I already have their phone number because I checked them in, but I text them my information at the open house so they know how to call me and how to contact me if something comes up. So we have create is select your open house and create the event. Marketing is creating your open house marketing landing page, how to promote your open house, timing, when to put it on the MLS, when to do the postcards, when to send stuff out, how to prepare for your open house, and also perfecting your open house presence. So, and creating a way that the velvet rope effect for checking people in. So, and how to build rapport. I have a lot of agents that, you know, when they just shifting, just like actually taking them and adjusting one small thing has changed their entire lead conversion at open house. And I feel like sometimes you think everybody just knows and it's common sense. And I will tell you, I was reading a really amazing quote by a professional, I think it was actually Gary Vaynerchuk, and he was like, you know, no successful, either whether it's an athlete or a business owner, whatever, is successful without a coach, without a good coach that knows what they're doing. So this is something that's really, really important. So why marketing your open house has changed. So I'm going to talk about this. Everybody knows, a lot of people don't know, Zillow is a brokerage now. So what happened with Zillow being a brokerage is Zillow cannot sell you leads anymore. You can sign up for a commission split program or blah, 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 which is ridiculous. And they're not having success with it at all. When they became a brokerage, they became an IDX feed, and IDX feeds are not allowed to sell leads to other brokerages. It'd have to be a referral program, like on a commission thing. And it's not working for them because agents are like, well, I don't want to pay you 35% commission for a lead that comes in that might've come into my open house by myself. Right. And if you're a part of the program and you put your open house on there and that they send you a lead, you're legally obligated to pay them, even though that lead might've come into your open house without them. So, and I think COVID was a big deal. We now have a way and a reason that we verify every single person coming in the door. I know it's going away now, but there still is not, it changed the way people attended open houses. They don't want to attend an open house with 15,000 people in the house. There are people coming in right now with masks, even now, but checking people in, I always say it's a great way to follow up with them too. Let's just say the owner came down with COVID the next day. I mean, that's just a courtesy, and just say, hey, by the way, I'm so sorry, we had no idea. Being able to follow up with every single person that comes in with a text message that just says, hey, by the way, I am being considerate of you, you know, low inventory. Buyers are looking for more options right now. So also they are being abandoned by the buyer's agents. The buyer's agents have no interest in taking them around and showing them houses and doing all this. So they are coming in and they're actually going out on their own, because what they're realizing is they can't go online. By the time a house hits Zillow or Redfin, it goes on and it goes off like this pending, and they get really frustrated because all of a sudden it pops up, they get all excited, and then it goes pending because it was sold off market. And there's a lot of homes being sold off market. In 2021, 90% of my clients that I had, my past clientele, my buyers, every single one of them I got under contract with a coming soon that I had access to that they didn't. So again, I was adding value. I went over and above, but that takes work. I mean, that takes a little bit of effort, but you know, every night I'm on the MLS just seeing what's coming up, you know, and just saying, oh my gosh, here's great opportunity. Let's see what we can get in prior to it going active. And nowadays, a lot of sellers would much rather sell off market than have an open house. But there's also like kind of two things to that I'm going to talk about, because as a listing agent, I don't really want to sell it off market. I want to have an open house that goes active. And then I want to have it the day of. I want everybody to see, because now I'm going to get a higher price. So unless an offer comes in that's over and above what my client was expecting, I might take it. But otherwise, I'm definitely not taking something at asking price or lower. No way. And it's got to be over, because I know if I have an open house on it and I get 15 people or 50 people coming in, I'm going to get over asking price. So also, unrepresented buyers are walking into open houses and they're buying the house from the open house agent. This has happened to 3 of our agents in the last 2 months. I've been an agent 15 years, and I'll tell you the chances of a buyer walking in and actually buying the open house from me, I think it's happened twice in 15 years. And our agents, it's happening to, we just had an agent, it happened to her twice in 3 weeks. That's it. They bought the house from her. I mean, talk about an easy escrow, but they bought the house from her because she talked to them and she engaged with them. They didn't go back to another open house and said, hey, would you help us find that house? And that happens, you guys, if you're not engaging with these buyers, they might want the house that they met you at, but if you're not engaging with them and trying to work with them, they'll go to another open house, and then they will come back to that open house with the other open house agent that did talk to them. Right. So there is, I mean, and that's why these agents are converting, because I'm teaching them how to add value to the people that are coming in and engaging with them. So we're going to talk about step one, and that is create. So I sold an open house to a buyer who came in. Yes, Angel did. And we had Katie that had 2 in 3 weeks. And I think we had another one actually that another agent that called us and did that. So yeah, it's pretty awesome. So okay, so step one is to create your open house. So if you don't have your own listing, then you have to find one, right? You have to find an open house, and you really want to find the right open house, and you want to begin marketing it. You do not want to have the agent put in the MLS. And if an agent says, oh, you can hold my open house, this is happening a lot, you guys. A lot of agents aren't looking for coming soons. So if you want to, if a coming soon is going active, or it's going on the market on Friday, you want to be holding that open house on Saturday, period. And you really want to make sure. And so, but the agent who has a house on the market has no interest in doing it. They really don't. So agents who are going after coming soons are getting gold mines of listings from a listing that's not even their own, right? They take it, they market it online. They have a Facebook share page. They can actually boost it on Facebook. Then everybody who comes in, if they want early access, if they have any questions, they go to you, the open house agent. And when they come in, they're not coming in with an agent because it's not hitting Redfin or Zillow until the day before. So, and also how to have an open house on a coming soon. I'm going to talk about this because there are 2 things you should do as a coming soon. You should have a coming soon preview. This is where you could engage your title partner, where you could let all the neighbors, maybe it's a neighborhood exclusive. I will tell you, neighbors are the best leads right now. There's so many neighbors that are wanting to sell or are thinking about it. House pops up in the neighborhood for $900,000. And they're like, oh my God, honey, this house is on the market in our neighborhood for $900,000. Maybe we should think about selling, right? So, but imagine being able to meet them before they find an agent to list with. So that you want to meet them. So you want them coming into a coming soon, especially, oh my gosh, in a condo complex, like in a high end, like in Old Town, the condo complex. Guess who comes into the coming soon open house? Every single neighbor that's thinking about selling or upsizing or downsizing or doing whatever. You're also getting agents coming in because it's online, which is fine as a coming soon, but talk about the lead generation. And you could also, it's really, really good for early market feedback, because our days on market are key right now. Days on market are huge in any market, but in a hot market, if your house right now is on the market for 2 weeks, who's got the advantage? The buyer, right? If a house is on the market 0 days, who has the advantage? The seller, right? And so coming soons don't accumulate days on market. They don't accumulate on our website, on Open Houses Direct, and they don't accumulate on the MLS. So being able to go out into the consumer world and market your coming soon directly to consumers up to a month before it goes active, I mean, you might be really off on the price. So Tala said neighbors might be curious to sell their house, but worry they won't find another available house to buy. Yes. So I'm going to talk about that as well. Yes. You know what? Neighbors are, but then that's where you get involved, Tala, and you're like, do you know what? And it is a frustration right now, you guys. There's so many options I'm going to talk about for getting a buyer to work with you, but also it's the coming soon access we have as agents, a buyer doesn't have. And like I said, I have got more of my buyers under contract on coming soons prior to them hitting the market than I ever have in the history of me being an agent, right? So hold on, I think I have one more person coming in. So I feel like agents are really missing out on that, where you have to be able to tell them, well, here's what I'm going to do. Let's just see if we can find something or whatever. And there's also a lease back option that a lot of people are doing too. So with a financed offer, a seller can rent back for up to 2 months. And then they don't have to make a contingent offer anymore. So that's also something where, just kind of giving them access. But I think if I had a seller come in that said, we want to sell, but we don't know where we're going to go, then I would say, let me start looking at houses that aren't coming on the market yet. Because what's great about a coming soon is then it can go kind of both ways, right? So if I submit a super solid offer on a coming soon, even though my house is contingent, everybody knows a contingent house is going to sell, right? So being able to do that, there's a lot of great options that you can do. So when it comes active during the week or even Friday, what time of day is best for during the work week? What do you mean by that, Bridget? When it comes active, you mean what time would I make it active on the MLS? Is that what you're saying?
You hold your open house.
You know what? I would say honestly, like noon to 3 or 12 to 4. It depends on how many hours you want to be there. We had one on Saturday from noon to 3, and I'm telling you, from like 2 to 3, we had like 15 people come in, and I kind of wish I had made it till 4, especially if it's a coming soon, because you're honestly never going to have to do another showing on it. You're never going to have another showing. So committing to 4 hours, I mean, the leads just keep coming in. And I think 12 to 4 is a great time on a Saturday. If it's a Sunday, I would do after church. So like 1 to 4, 1 to 5 time frame. But I think afternoons are better, because I think a lot of people that have children that are in soccer or sports or athletics, a lot of those are in the morning. And really having a larger time frame, I think these like 2-hour open houses are really, really hard, because I don't think you get enough people coming in. And then if they can't make it, what are they going to do? That they're going to go online and go to another agent. So I want to get in front of as many people as possible. So I would do 12 to 4, 1 to 5 timeframe.
I think it's great too, if there's like an event or something going on during that time, you want to kind of try to schedule it around that as well.
Yes. So if a church lets out, like, I don't know if any of you go to Impact Church, but I'll tell you, Impact Church, when they let out at 1 o'clock, if you have a house anywhere near there, you want to have your open house signs everywhere at 1 o'clock, because everybody's all dressed up. They don't have any, they're open for the day on Sunday. I mean, it's really, the traffic is incredible that you get in from an event. Yeah. Like let's say there's a soccer tournament nearby. Perfect. You have so many people that are coming in from out of the area that are going to be like, hey, let's just go look at that house. And they might not be interested in that house. It might be out of their price range, in their price range, but now you get a new buyer, right? You get a new client. So whole point is to get yourself in front of as many people as you possibly can in 4 hours. And so whether they end up buying the house from you or whether they end up doing something else that's completely, it doesn't really matter to me. I just want to get in front of them, and I want to add them to my database, and I want to be able to work with them in the event they do buy. We actually had one of our agents, Katie, she was holding a house in Fountain Hills, or I can't remember if it was Fountain Hills or another one. But a neighbor was visiting another neighbor, or a client was actually visiting a neighbor from out of the area, like outside of the area. And she had her open house signs out. All of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, this house is on the market. It's only $600,000. We would have never looked in Fountain Hills. And they walk in and they buy the house from her. And the house was on the market for 12 days. And that buyer would never have looked up that house online, because they didn't really know much about Fountain Hills, but they went, saw their friends that day, walked in the open house, didn't have an agent, and bought the house. So, I mean, and that's how it goes with open houses. That's why they sell houses right now. So a preferred criteria, if you are a new agent or you're trying to find a house to hold open, you don't have your own, days on market obviously are key. Coming soon is optimal. Anything under 2 weeks, I would say. And if it hasn't had an open house on it, right? I mean, if it hasn't had an open house on it and it has been on the market, I don't care how long it's been on the market, a week, 2 weeks, whatever. If it hasn't, I don't know about 180 days, but if it hasn't had an open house on it and it's been on the market under 2 weeks, that's a gold mine for you right there. Lead gold mine, call the agent. Optimally, a vacant property is easier to get an open house for because the agent doesn't have to worry about the seller or whatever. But if a house is on the market for 2 weeks and they haven't had an offer yet, calling the agent and say, hey, I'd love to have an open house on your property if you want to tell your sellers. And what you tell them is, I'll tell you, the easiest way to convert an agent to let you hold their open house is if you tell them, we have a system, we check in every single person that comes in. If they have an agent, we're going to send you their name and their phone number so you can follow up with them. But we will also get feedback from every single person that comes in, because every single person who comes into your client's home is verified. Nobody comes in without checking in. We have a check-in system that protects your seller. Easiest way to get an open house, you guys, on an occupied property. And if you don't have that system in place, it doesn't help anybody. I mean, I went to a $5 million open house where an agent's on our app now. And he had to, when I got there, I was helping him, he had to sign in piece of paper, $5 million open house. I was like, what are you doing? I mean, that, and it does it. And this is top agent. He's amazing. Amazing guy, amazing, super successful, but it's amazing how old school you have at a $5 million occupied listing that you are not verifying every single person comes in the door. I don't want a piece of paper. A piece of paper is old school. And I'll tell you right now, I can't take notes on it, right? Because if I have a sign-in sheet and I have everybody checking in and I got notes next to them, guess who everybody gets to see? All my notes from everybody checking in. You want to be able to take notes on every single person, but sometimes your notes are only personal to you. They're specific, they're client specific, and you don't need, also, if you have a sign-in sheet and somebody comes in and you have one person that has signed in 2 hours, how does that make that house look? Here, would you sign in? Yeah, I only have one person so far and it's already 2 o'clock, you know, whereas on an app that they don't get to know how many people have come in. They don't get to see your notes. And so the home type, obviously, curb appeal, you guys, is a big deal if you're holding an open house. If you have your own listing, yes, it's very hard to say, I don't want to hold it open because it backs on Shea, right? Or Shea Boulevard or whatever. But if you're trying to find an open house hold open that's not your own, don't hold an open house that somebody's going to drive by and leave because it's in a bad neighborhood, the curb appeal sucks, or it backs to a freeway, right? I've had this where you have to map it out. You have to look at the property, are there major intersections nearby? Is it going to be easy to get to? Gated neighborhoods are golden. I went to an open house class years ago at a brokerage and they said no. And then an agent goes, hey, what do you think about gated neighborhoods? And the guy goes, I just wouldn't do them. And I'm like, I'm in the back going, what? I'm like, I work in DC Ranch. Everything I do is gated. And that's like the easiest way to capture leads. So gated neighborhoods are awesome. Absolutely awesome. So, and also like how to farm a neighborhood with an open house. You can take somebody else's listing and say, I want to have an open house on it. And then you can market to that entire neighborhood for the open house. I mean, and get leads that way, because if the other agent isn't interested in doing that. So, I already talked about this a little bit, and so now we found the open house. I mean, questions to ask the agent. This is something when we find the open house, then how old are the AC units? How old's the roof? How old's the hot water heater? This is all about lead conversion, guys. When somebody walks into an open house and they say, do you know the rental restrictions on this house? Yes, I do. I know it the minute they walk in because I did my homework. I am not going, you know what? I don't really know. You know, the open house that we had on Saturday, it's a condo in Old Town. What are the rental restrictions, right? We knew those prior to having the open house and having the listing. It's a 90-day minimum. Great. Somebody liked that and somebody didn't like it. Somebody was an investor and somebody was an owner occupant. And the owner occupant was like, that's what I wanted to hear because I don't want to be in a condo complex with Airbnbs, right? So it can go a good thing. A 90-day minimum could be a good thing. It could be a bad thing. But rattling that off just like that makes you look so professional. And if that's not my listing, it makes me look even better, because I don't want people coming in and having me not be able to answer questions. And it doesn't mean you have to know everything, but the most important things right now, how old is the roof? How old is the AC? Well, what does the HOA include? Where is the community pool? What are the amenities, right? What is rental restrictions? There are so many investors coming into open houses right now from out of state. that you need to know those things about the property. What are the rental restrictions? How many people in this complex are renters and how many are owners? That's a question you need to ask. And I'll tell you, sometimes agents are not helpful. So call the HOA. If you're going to hold that open house and the whole point of you holding it is either to sell that house or to get leads, and the agent's not going to help you on certain things, and you need to call the HOA and get that information, right? So, and that happens. I'll tell you, agents are like, I don't know. And I'm like, okay, well, can we find out? And they're just like, no, I'm too busy. You're like, all right, so I have to find out. And that's what you want to do. Any upgrades that might be worth mentioning that aren't visible to the naked eye, like a new roof, that's a really big upgrade. If there's anything internally that they did, there's surround sound, there's whatever. Or if there's anything about the neighborhood that the owners would know, but again, that somebody coming in just wouldn't know about the house. Like maybe it was owned by a celebrity. Maybe, you don't know, maybe it was owned by a baseball player with the Arizona Diamondbacks, small things like that. Or just anything kind of beneficial that it's close to a basis, elementary school, right? Well, what is that? Oh, it's the #1 charter school in Arizona. So the more prepared, the better. Yes. So step 2 is marketing. So does anybody have any questions on finding? Because we have, like I said, in our coaching program, we go really in detail on this, on how to find the perfect open house, how to get it, and then and how to put it online and all the timing. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. But so the more prepared you are, the better for running it. But now it's marketing it. So the whole reason we are holding an open house, if it's our listing, we want to sell it, right? It'd be great to get a buyer because then our commission, doubles or triples. But also it's also to get in front of buyers and sellers that don't have an agent. So if we market it the wrong way and everybody comes in with an agent, then that's not really going to benefit anybody because why am I even there? They could have made an appointment on showing time and come in, right? So that's where, and I already said this earlier, 78% of people use the first realtor they meet in person, right? So not online, whoever they meet in person, they shake their hand, they're going to hire them. If again, going back to Tony Robbins, if you are offering value, we have to be offering value, you guys, in this industry. When I coach agents, it's like, what makes you stand out? Okay, well, I have access to coming soons. I have a mortgage partner or a mortgage partners. I have title partners. I have all these resources. I have a plumber. I have a moving company. I have all these. When my clients from the past, I don't care how long, how expensive their house was. If I get a text from any of my clients and they say, hey, do you have a good number for a pool guy? Our pool guy has COVID. I just got this the other day. I said, you know what? I actually do. I do have one, but in your area, I don't, but I'm going to find you one by tomorrow. So I'm going to call agents in that area and I'm going to find them a pool company because I'm going to be their resource and they're going to constantly come to me. I have a client I closed 18 months ago that has easily texted me once every 2 months asking for a roofer, electrician, a pool company, a this, a that, carpet installer, whatever it is. And every single time, I don't tell them to go to Google. I find a resource for them that's reliable. And if I don't have it in my database, then I definitely am going to find one. Mortgage options are huge. And I'm going to talk about that because mortgage options are the easiest way to convert a lead. If you do not have a mortgage partner, you need to get one. That is like Agent 101, because that's how you can keep a buyer at an open house with you. You send them to a mortgage partner of yours and they come right back to you. So how to market your open house. Well, what to do before and what to do the day of your open house, and what to do before is how we market it, right? And that's really, really important. So why we should have an open house on a coming soon. I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, but why we have an open house on a coming soon, either before it goes active and the day it goes active. So you're losing hundreds of leads if you're not having an open house the day a home goes active, but you're not marketing, you're not having that home go active on Tuesday with your open house on Saturday. That doesn't happen. what you want to do is you want to have your house go active on Friday, and you want to have the open house on Saturday. So by the time that house goes active, that buyer doesn't have to call a realtor.com agent to go see it because it's open the next day. So optimally, you want it to go active on Friday at 5 p.m. for Saturday, right? And that's just what you want to do, because then they don't have any reason to contact an agent because it's already 5 o'clock on Friday. Oh, it's open tomorrow. Let's just go. And Nicole was saying this where her clients get antsy. And I had a client that got antsy and they're like, when are you how come it's not active yet? I'm like, trust me, this system works. And we want everybody to see everybody. I don't want it to go active on Tuesday and then everybody's coming in with agents and this and that. We're going to have our phone blows up about early showings. I want everybody coming in. So I want it to go active on Friday. It takes everything's changed online. If you put a house in the MLS on Friday, it will syndicate to every online platform within about 5 minutes. It doesn't take 24 hours anymore, 48 hours, because people go, oh, whatever. But what it does take a long time to do is it does take a long time for the agent to find it for their buyer, or for a buyer to go online and contact another agent. You want them to come in and meet you. And this timing, there are agents that will never do it any other way now because of the number of unrepresented buyers that come in. Rather than having 20 people come in and 8 or 5 don't have agents now you're getting 20 people coming in and 15 don't have agents, and there's only 5 that do, right? So, and it also gives you a chance to meet the neighbors. I mean, to have a coming soon open house and be able to call it your title rep and be like, hey, can I get a phone number for every single person in this neighborhood? I'm going to have a neighbors only coming soon preview, So, and then over half of the visitors that come in, also, you guys don't have agents. They're not working with agents. And like I said before, if a buyer comes into my open house and they don't have an agent with them, I'm checking them in. If they can tell me they have an agent, I'll put their agent's name in my notes, but I'm not checking them in because that's kind of an excuse. And you'd be surprised how many people come in and they don't know their agent's name magically. Oh, yeah, it's okay. I'll just sign in without one now, right? So if you don't know your agent's name, I'll tell you right now, my clients know my name and they know how to pronounce my last name too, very well, because I've talked to them a lot, right? And so my buyers are going to know my name and that they're going to know me and how to pronounce my last name too. So it's amazing how many people go, oh, what's our agent's name again? It's like, really? So it also gives the seller the opportunity for everyone to see the house. You really, in this market, half of buyers don't have agents yet. So to just put it as a coming soon in the MLS and only allow agents who have buyers or buyers who have agents to see it, you're really missing out on a lot of opportunity for a client to come in that's unrepresented that would not have found it if you had put that house under contract prior to making it public. So, and also doing a preview open house can also help with the days on market, right? I mean, if you have an open house on a coming soon and you get early market feedback on the price, or you get oh, it's great, but the backyard is are you going to do anything to that? If everybody comes in and they comment on the backyard, kind of being plain or boring or this or that, or they're commenting on something, right? It gives you time to tell your seller, hey, we want to get the most amount of money for this. So maybe we should add some colorful flowers to the backyard prior to it going active, right? So can you clarify the clear cooperation policy? Yes, I will. This is a really big thing, guys. And I think that it's interesting how many people don't realize, but really don't know a lot about it. So in clear cooperation, you could this is what's so great about open houses direct is we are consumer direct for coming soon and active, right? You can market, you could have a coming soon open house. You could put it on Open Houses Direct. You could put it on Facebook. You do whatever. And you could do that on a Friday. And you do not have to put it in the MLS as coming soon until Monday at midnight. It is a full business day. It is not a calendar day. It's a business day. So a business day means that from the day you start marketing it, one full business day later, You have to have it in the MLS as a coming soon. And then you can do anything you want with that coming soon for a month after that. For a whole month, you could be having an open house on it every single day and it's not ready or whatever it is. You could be marketing it, you do whatever. You could get it in front of 100 consumers. I'd be having an open house on it every weekend. So I can meet all the neighbors, so I can meet any drive-bys, I can meet whatever. And then when it goes active, but then you have a whole month that you can market it before it goes active, and you are completely compliant with NAR. So does that help, Derek? Did you get that?
Yeah, so my question goes to, once you put a sign in the yard,
Yes.
you're marketing it and it's no longer protected per se for the previews with regards. So you've got to keep a sign out of the yard. You can go coming soon in MLS, but once you go coming soon in MLS, then you lose some of that protection you're talking about, right?
No, no,
Okay.
no. I can put a sign in the yard on a Friday. I can have an open house on it on a Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. I mean, if it's a holiday weekend, and then I could even, and that's even a holiday, so I don't even need it till Tuesday, right? Because it's holiday, which is kind of funny. Then you don't even have to have it in the MLS as a coming soon until Tuesday. So no, you can actually put a sign in the yard. You can send out flyers. You can post it on Facebook. You can do whatever you want. But then you have to have it in the MLS as a coming soon, a whole business day after.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So does that make sense?
Yeah, because I've got one coming up the 18th of March,
Right.
and we're planning to go coming soon on this Friday, actually in advance of that. But like photography's delayed, everything's delayed, but we still want to do a neighborhood event before we go. Yeah.
Yes. And you can, and I would put it in the MLS as a coming soon. The day you can't do any marketing on it until, and if you wanted to, it depends on how long you want it in coming soon. I mean, because there's no reason to not put it as a coming soon in the MLS if you know it's going active in 2 weeks. I would do it now, but then you know that you can do that neighborhood preview. Absolutely. You should get with a title partner and get all the emails and the texts or the phone numbers for all the neighbors and tell them, hey, I have a house coming on the market. It's not on the market yet. I'd love to meet you. Come by and say hi. We're having a preview on Saturday. You know, I'm telling you, it's a great way to meet the neighbors.
Well, my strategy is a neighborhood event the Wednesday, then going live Thursday with an open house Friday night and Saturday morning.
Perfect. Love it. That's perfect. Yep. That's when I would do it. I definitely would have it. I would have it active go. I'd have it go active on a Thursday afternoon after 5 or 6, and then have the open house on it on a Friday and Saturday. Yep, absolutely. Great way to do it. And then I would say offers are open until Sunday then,
Yeah,
because you definitely want to get the traffic on Saturday too.
Yeah, this is a 55+ community, so I know I'll have daily, during the day traffic during the week without concern. So.
Right. Go ahead, Mark. You raise your hand. You can unmute if you want.
Hey, Shannon. Sorry, I got to clear my throat. Yeah, I know your struggle with it's like having a very complicated Italian name. Mine gets mispronounced all the time. Yeah, I'm actually a lender. So I sat in with Jake Youngs on Sunday.
Oh, good.
And the stickiness of it, where I kind of set up a little, it was like an office in one of the rooms. It was kind of cool how it looked. And the stickiness of bringing people in, I was able to pre-qual and pre-approve them right on the spot. And just the lead conversion we have is fantastic from that.
Love it.
So yeah, partnering up and having the right kind of like vibe to the whole thing and the right thing, it's amazing. It really is.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about that more in the running part of the event, because it's really, really big that that the running part is like crazy, where you want to partner with a lender. A lender, you guys, if you know you're going to have a busy open house, I'll tell you right now, call a lender and be like, hey, I'm having this open house for 4 hours on Saturday. It is the easiest way, like Mark, I mean, the glue and the stickiness of these buyers coming in, wanting options, wanting finance, that they're not even pre-approved yet. They don't know what's going on with interest rates. You send them to the lender, then Mark will send them right back to Jake. So talk about a great way to keep them in the same circle, right?
So here's a little strategy on the inside from my side. We have, because we came out of the refi boom and because a lot of these lender shops hired on a bunch of people for refis, you have a lot of guys going around going, how am I getting leads? How am I going to do this? So it should be rather easy to pick up a lender to sit in with you, considering the fact if you explain this process and all this stuff. So it should be relatively easy to get one.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
100%.
and I talk about that more in the running part is that you need to have your partners, guys, for lead conversion. And this is such an example. It makes you look professional. If I'm a new agent and I have a buyer come in, and I don't have a lender to recommend them to, or I don't have a home warranty company, or I don't have a moving company, I don't know anybody, they're going to be like, I'll tell you right now, if a buyer comes in, I got resources for everybody. And, and I have a painter, and it doesn't mean you have to have all of those because you can find them. But when it comes to a lender or title title, there's a lot of reasons why you could refer or would refer a potential buyer to a title company. They might want to know about the CC&Rs. They might want to know about a trust, there's a lot of things that a title rep can answer for them. And so being able to say, I have a great title rep, and the reason you want a relationship with them is because if you send them a text, you say, hey, I have a new client, they have a question real quick, your title rep will jump for you. You can't just send a new title rep a buyer and be like, hey, can you help me? They'd be like, okay, who are you? It's great to have a relationship with them, meet with them, find out what their resources are, find out what they can do, put them in your phone on speed dial, as we used to do, right? That aged me a lot. But yeah, so we do have all of that. So Angie, are you on the call? I want to have Angie saying it. Come on real quick.
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Hi. All right.
Hi.
I'm going to let you come on. There's Angie. Everybody say hi to Angie. Angie's with Pioneer Title. And I want to let her talk for just a couple of minutes because as I said earlier, there's so many resources, you guys, that you can use a title rep for. And especially as I'm going to talk more in the marketing, flyers that are branded to you. Okay. I cannot tell you how many open houses. I'm sure I'm not talking to the experienced agents, but I'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. But the agent, if you're new and you're holding an open house for another realtor, you need to have flyers with your name on them, period. And it doesn't have to have all the information, but it does need to have a flyer with your name. I've been in more open houses where the open house agent's handing out the flyers that the other agent printed and had in a little easel as you walk in. I'm like, why are you doing that? They're like, what do you mean? Well, I don't have any flyers of my own. Great. So who are they going to call if they want information on this property? I'm going to call you. They're going to call the other agent on the flyer. And I was actually helping an agent that's in our coaching program. She said, oh, well, Kinko's, I couldn't pick up my flyers on time. So a buyer came in, and this is an example. Buyer comes in, she's talking to them for 25 minutes. We're at the door, I'm helping her and blah, blah, blah. And then they go, okay, do you have any information on it? She gives them a flyer, and the guy's name is on the bottom of the flyer, the listing agent. And the girl goes, oh, who's this? Oh, well, he's the listing agent. Well, who are you? Oh, I'm the open house agent. So who do I call if I want to make an offer? It's like, and she goes, well, you'd call me. They go, well, why wouldn't I call him? It was like such an example of like, you don't need a confused buyer, guys. If you get a confused buyer, they're gone. Well, I'm confused, right? You want a flyer with your information on it. If you want more information, but you already are going to follow up with them, but you need to have your name, your picture, your phone number, your email address on that flyer. And that's something that title helps with. So go ahead, Angie. I'm going to give you
Absolutely. Thanks, Shannon.
Share what you like. So yeah.
Well, I have my other partner in crime on here too, Dwight Campbell. He's on here. He's going to talk just a minute about the farming because we have at Pioneer Title. We're both with Pioneer Title. I'm in the kind of North Scottsdale, High Street, North Phoenix area. And then Dwight is also kind of this whole Northwest section too. So Dwight, if you want to hop on quick, and then I'll pop back on to talk about just the other goodies that we have.
Sure. Awesome. Thank you, Angie. I appreciate it. And Shannon, this is great information. And for the agents that are out there, if you don't have a relationship, that triangle is so important. Mark, as a lender, Angie, Dwight on the title side to help you. That marketing at open houses is key, because what you're doing is you're actually with marketing materials, if you have it, and I'm a licensed real estate agent, my license is on hold with the state because of my affiliation with Pioneer Title. But I remember going and doing open houses with an MLS listing sheet. That was it. That's all I had. And there's so much more to marketing than that. And I wished I would have had a great title partner to share what Shannon has mentioned about getting possible phone numbers, emails, neighbors' names, and their addresses. Because if I would have had that, buyer seller guides, a marketing property profile, and like Shannon said, flyers with your name on it. So you're not, who do I contact? Who do I go to make an offer? Angie and I do all of that. We help assist in all those efforts. And I would encourage you, if you don't have a title company that you're currently working with, reach out to Angie or myself, and we'll put our contact information in the chat. Feel free to reach out to us. We'd be more than happy to help.
Thanks, Dwight. Yes, I mean, we do. We have a plethora of stuff that we can help you guys with. One of the things that we love doing is these open house goodie buckets. Love these. And I've helped Shannon with a couple, and Angel, and just even being, I have a full-time assistant also that we can come if it's something that Shannon was talking about. If you need extra assistance, like at the open house, I mean, we can sit there. She talked about how just getting the data in, in the app, like that's the information that we can sit and focus on while you're focusing on just connecting with them and showing them around the house. So it's been, it's a great way, and absolutely reach out to Dwight and I if we can be a resource to you guys. I'll put our information in the chat, but definitely if you've got a great relationship with your, title company, ask them, say, hey, come and sit an open house with me. And it really does change the experience that you have at your open houses. So thank you guys. Thank you, Shannon and Angel, Maria. This is always such good information for you guys.
I think it's so great too, because you can all be logged in to Open Houses Direct at the same time and be taking notes at the same time. So it just makes for just such a smoother open house.
Yeah, and we'll talk more about that so later, but thank you, Angie. She's
You bet.
rockstar, so, and she's one of the best open house. I think she just is really, really great about helping agents with their open houses, which I think is awesome. So, all right, so we're gonna move on, but this is marketing your open house. So it's actually kind of perfect timing because we had, creating your event. We are going to have a tech training today at noon for Open Houses Direct, if any of you are interested, but really great. If you have a coming soon, we're the only consumer direct website you can advertise like coming soon open house directly to consumers. We had 600 downloads on our app in the last 2 weeks with the marketing we're doing. I mean, it's just awesome. So that's more than we had in the entire month of January. So buyers are getting really desperate on trying to find available inventory. And that's what our marketing is all about, the fact that we have everything on our sites available, right? So share your open house event on social media. Again, you need to be sharing a page that is going to direct people to you. There's a lot of social media marketing out there that I think is extremely ineffective. And if it's active, you definitely don't want to put an address on it unless, you want them contacting you, because if they enter the address and they go to Zillow or Redfin, they're gone, right? If you have a for sale sign in the yard, put a sign writer about your coming soon open house. We have those available at Open Houses Direct now. It's a QR code. It directs and geolocates a buyer directly to you. There's also mailers with, I would put a QR code in those, any flyers. We're talking about text messaging. You could share the link on a text from Open Houses Direct, which would be amazing. You could actually text it to them and say, hey, here's information on my open house. Because if it's coming soon, you're not going to be able to direct them anywhere. You can't share a coming soon MLS listing with a consumer. So, and then you want to prepare, you can on email, but it's a little hard to share it since it isn't live yet and active. And then, like I said before, you need to prepare for your open house, order flyers, get your lender partner. If they have a plan, a good plan that, that you know is going to convert. I'm going to talk about one of our mortgage partners, AmeriFirst. They have an amazing plan, and one of our agents actually converted a buyer because of it at an open house on Saturday. A buyer that actually, there was a couple that had an agent, that it was a friend of theirs. They've been losing out on properties because they're financed. Like being able to say, I have another option. We have a company that will actually buy the house cash, and then you actually finance it back from them for a small fee. That's how you're going to get in the door right now. And they go, oh my God, our lender, our agent didn't tell us anything about that. So also getting your open house box prepared, mapping your route. You guys, mapping your route before you get there. Look at how many signs you're going to need, because signs do drive people to your open house. And if you don't have enough signs, you know, a lot of times you have to make sure you know how many turns there's going to be. It doesn't mean you have to have 15 signs with your name on them, but you definitely need to have a little red sign. If you need to go to like a Home Depot or a SAR or a sign place and get a little pop-up open house sign that's orange with an arrow on it, just to put in the yard somewhere so that they don't miss a turn, you got to go do that. So there's a number of times I've been to an open house and I don't have enough signs, and I'm like, oh, that's great, you know? So you really, really want to make sure and do that. So also door hangers. Door hangers are a great way to meet the neighbors. We have door hangers at open houses direct that we provide for you guys that we're having an open house in your neighborhood. For information, go here. And it's a great way to walk on a Saturday morning, the neighborhood. Also, it's great if you're not familiar with the neighborhood, you know, where you can actually find out where the community pool is, that it has tennis courts, how pretty the pool is, if there's a hot tub, you know, there's a lot of things. If it's a new neighborhood, it's also a great way for you to really get to know the neighborhood, maybe see how many houses are in the neighborhood. A lot of people come in and they say, how many houses are in this community? I don't know. You know, I mean, it's not that you have to count them, but you're going to know about 100, about 200. I don't know. It's really big. It's not very big. So it's a great way to get familiar with it as well. So how to turn a listing into 2+ more listings is, you know, advertising your coming soon open house up to a month before. If your house is not going active in a month, I would be pre-marketing that like crazy. And I would be having a coming soon open house. I'd be talking my client into it. This really is not a hard thing to do, especially if you're trying to convince your seller that you want to get them above, at least asking or above. And the way to do that is I need to get everybody. I want everybody in this market to see it. And so I'm going to have it coming soon. I want to get the neighbors coming in. I want neighbors have friends that want to move here, right? That's a really great thing. How many neighbors want to pick their neighbors, right? And it is adhering to NAR. I already talked about this. And also having an open house the day it goes active or the day after it goes active. You have to do this, you guys. If you are putting, I cannot tell you how many open houses are in the MLS right now for Saturday. And the agent's going to sit there and they're going to have everybody coming in with an agent that they met on Redfin that's going to hand them a card at the door because they've been talking to them online, right? So, and the coming soon to active timing on the MLS, I think I already talked about this as well. And also why it is so important to have an exclusive coming soon preview. You got to meet the neighbors. How many times I have had more houses in my neighborhood go on the market and the agent didn't put a sign out. I saw it was coming soon, went under contract. And then within 2 weeks, a house around the corner goes on the market with another agent, right? Because you never got to meet the neighbors. They're not going to, and most of the time with a coming soon, a lot of people aren't even putting a sign in the yard anymore, right? So it's like you're missing out on the opportunity to turn a listing into 2 more listings. It's not just buyers. And I think that's where so many agents are missing the boat on open houses right now is it's not all buyers, it's also sellers. So, Maricopa.gov can provide the number of households in the immediate subdivision. That's a great resource, you guys. If you go to Maricopa.gov, I just got this from Dwight. You do that, you have a resource on how many houses are in this subdivision. And I mean, you'd be surprised. I don't know why people ask that, right? But they do. Why is it important? It's probably not important, but What am I there for? To convert leads, right? So if the more knowledge I have, the more confident I am talking to potential people, clients that come in, right? So if I know how many houses are in the subdivision and that comes up, I can rattle it right off. Oh, there's about 150 houses in here. Great. I know what I'm talking about. I have no idea how many houses are in here. You know, I mean, you look at the difference, right? It's like going to Home Depot. It's going to Home Depot and asking somebody who works at Home Depot and they don't know anything about Home Depot. Have you ever gone into a store and you ask them something about the store and they don't know anything about the store? And you're like, what? Why are you here? Like, why are you even in the store with a name badge on? You don't know anything. I mean, they're just like, I don't know. You know, you're like, great, thanks. You know, I'm going to have to go find somebody else. And it also is a misrepresentation of the place that you're trying to find something in, right? I mean, I've gone into some place where I was like, I'll never go back here again. I think it was, and I'm not going to name, it was a large furniture store, and it was unbelievable. Nobody knew anything. I asked like 8 people, I'm like, I'm not even going to buy anything. I'm going to leave. Right. And I did. And I went to another furniture store and the help was amazing. And I bought something there, same thing. So it isn't any different at an open house where you want people to work with you. So if you're that resource and you have all this knowledge and you have everything about the neighborhood and they are interested in the community, if I don't know anything about the community, a buyer's not going to come in and be like, hey, would you help us find a house in here? Like, a buyer came in on Saturday, we were talking to them and they were in Old Town. Well, we talked about it and we were like, well, where actually do you want to be? Well, we really want to be a little more north. Oh, I've lived up there for 15 years. Oh my God. Then you know everything about the neighborhood. I do. I know everything about the neighborhood. I know everything about all those neighborhoods because I've lived up there. My kids have gone to school up there for 15 years. And they go, oh my gosh, can we work with you? Here, let me make sure you have our email address and our phone number right. You know, and that's the way that they want to work with you now because you're actually the community expert. So how to properly market it coming soon. I think I already talked about this as well, put a sign writer. And if you are going to have an open house and a coming soon, don't have any showings on until the open house. You want everybody to see everybody. You really do. And if the agents are coming in with their buyers, great. But I want everybody to see everybody. It creates a sense of urgency. And it also creates a sense where, oh my gosh, look at all the interest. If you have a house that goes active and or coming soon and you allow showings, a buyer comes in, they don't see the other buyers. They don't see any interest. They don't know that you've had 55 showings on the house because you have them all spread out. You want them all showing up at the same time. And that's how you add value to your seller as well. Or as an agent, I want to get a buyer, right? As an open house agent. So marketing materials for your open house. We already talked about this. Mailers, flyers. If you go on Amazon, you guys, you can get water bottle labels with your name, your number on them and everything. It's like $100 for like 1,000. And they come in a roll. And you just put them right on the water bottle. I mean, talk about an easy way to brand your open houses. And again, you want to look like you are professional and that this is your full-time job. Even if it is not your full-time job, if you're trying to convert leads, you want them to think that you are a full-time realtor. And this is a great way. You want your flyers branded. You want your materials branded. You want your seller handbooks branded. You know, you don't just want to hand out a seller handbook that doesn't have anything. Driggs does water bottle labels for free. Oh, great. Yeah, that's awesome. So again, your title company, whatever title company you're using, they might offer that for free, that they might offer a resource like that. I think that's awesome. So Angie also put a resource link also on that in the chat as well. So seller and buyer handbooks, again, branded to you. It's all about branding. Get your door hangers ready. A tablecloth, actually, it doesn't have to be, I think a tablecloth is necessary. It doesn't have to have your name on it or your brokerage on it. A lot of brokerages offer these that have like, I know HomeSmart, you can order a HomeSmart one. But just a tablecloth in general, it just makes your table look good. Your open house signs should be branded to you. They should have your name and your phone number on them. I see a lot of agents that do open houses, and they're actually, they put the agent's signs out that has a house on the market. They're like, hey, do you have any open house signs I can use? No, it is free marketing. It is free advertising. You can put your name on every single corner in that neighborhood every single weekend, and everybody knows who you are and what brokerage you're with and your phone number, right? Every single time. And can you explain again why not to put the address on the marketing material? In regards to marketing material, when it comes to an active listing, okay, if I'm gonna send out mailers or flyers for a neighborhood and the house is active, it's active on the market, what do you think happens? So this is me, I'm Shannon, I'm Agent A, listing Agent A, here's my new listing, and here's my marketing materials. Not my marketing materials that I hand out at the open house. Absolutely. I'll put the address on there, obviously, in the price and all that. It's the anything that you're doing kind of pre-marketing. So if I put my address on here, the consumer websites, Redfin, Realtor.com, Zillow, they are designed specifically to deceive a consumer on who has the house on the market and who they're contacting. That's why they don't have a name. That's why they don't have anything. They said contact agent. It goes to OpCity. It goes to all these other places. And then they funnel through all these things. And then they get connected with an agent. The agent has nothing or no relation with that house at all. So if you put an address on your marketing materials, well, what do you think? If I put an address on a mailer, I'm having an open house on Saturday, home goes active Tuesday, I think I'm all great, I'm gonna send out these marketing materials. Well, what do you think is gonna happen if I put the address on them and I'm a consumer and I open my mailer and I open it and I go, oh my gosh, look, and there's a picture. I wanna see more pictures, right? Well, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna go to my computer or my phone and I'm gonna Google the address and it's gonna bring me to Realtor.com, or it's gonna bring, or it's gonna bring me to Redfin, and it says contact agent for a showing, contact agent for information. They're not going to go to you, right? So you just spent all this money on marketing and you just gave away all your leads, because that lead might not buy your house. Okay. So everybody goes, well, I don't need to double-side it. I'm not talking about double-siding it. I'm talking about that buyer is interested in your house. So if they don't want to buy your house, you still want them as a buyer or a seller. You want them as a lead. And you're giving away your leads if you're putting your address in your marketing materials, because they're not smart enough to know that the number on the bottom of the flyer is not the same agent phone number that they're actually getting connected to on Realtor.com. They don't. If you talk to 9 out of 10 consumers who walk into your open house, and if you ask them, do you know how the internet works in regards to like Redfin or Zillow? And you tell them and they go, really? It's incredible. It's incredible how they have no idea. Consumers that aren't in our industry, they don't know how the internet works. They just hit the contact agent button, make a time to see it now, schedule a showing, blah, blah, blah. But that they're going to go all different directions, and your marketing, that's why it's amazing how many agents are like, yeah, I sent out 150 postcards, I didn't get any leads. Wow, that's a shocker. You know, I'm sure somebody was interested, but they didn't go to you, because if they Google you or they Google your address online and they go to Realtor.com, that they're not going to get connected to you. If they go to Redfin, they sure as heck aren't going to get connected to you, right? And these websites are designed for that. So does that make sense, Karen? I hope.
Yes.
Okay, good. Sorry, I know everybody's unmuted, which is great, because I always get like dogs barking and all that. So the thing about Open Houses Direct, which is why I created this entire system, is we have a QR code that if you put it on your door hangers, you put it on mailers, you do whatever, it geolocates that neighbor to the open house in the neighborhood that's yours, right? And then they open it up. It has all the pictures, it has everything, but more importantly, it has your phone number and your direct contact information. You're the only contact they have. So for coming soon marketing, it's just phenomenal, because it's the only way that they can see all the pictures, right? So the elements of social media, we want to talk is, Maria, are you on here?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so Maria's going to talk for like 10 minutes about social media marketing. And it was a good segue, Karen, with what you just said, because there is a way, like this is an example of how you want to advertise a coming soon open house. This is a direct advertisement. You put the link in Instagram, and Instagram, it has to be a link tree. But in our coaching program, Maria teaches agents how to do all of this. And this is key, you guys, we want to maximize lead generation and conversion, right? But we have to get the leads to come to us in order to convert them. If they're not coming to us, we're not going to be able to convert them. We're not going to be able to meet them. So your social media marketing, your social media presence, everything should be directing leads to you. It should not be directing leads to anybody else. And you also want to be able to get your social media marketing in front of as many people as possible, especially for a coming soon. So Maria, I'm going to let you take over. There's a couple slides in here. Let me know when you need me to change the slide, but she's going to talk a little bit about this, and she's a part of our program. And telling you, when you create a social media presence, you guys, I have actually had people that hired me to sell their home because they Googled me and they looked me up on Facebook. And they said, you were the only one that when I Googled you, you came up 10 times. That's key, right? Which means you're posting the videos on YouTube. I had YouTube, I had this, I had that. So I do have the slides up right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Maria, and I'm the marketing director for Open Houses Direct. And I wanted to share a slide real quick with everyone. I'm noticing that a lot of agents right now are sharing images and sharing, whether it be an open house, a just listed, or even a coming soon. And they're not putting the information required on that post. So if you can leave with anything today, I just want to make sure that everyone is aware of this, is that when I go into the Open Houses Direct app to repost an open house or a coming soon, and if I don't see the information such as your contact information on there, I won't be able to reshare it because it takes that much longer. It takes a little bit longer to find you and who is this person, and I've got to look up their posts and do all of that. But right now I'm going to go over the elements of a social media post for a coming soon and an open house. As Shannon indicated, we do have a strategy on sharing a coming soon post. And in this case, you're going to see the image doesn't have an address. We want to create like a fear of missing out, right? We want to allow people to see this post and say, wow, that's a great house. Wow, it's in a great guard-gated community. I need to contact this agent. So we do have a strategy to actually doing this, and with more training, and I can help agents with this. When you're posting things like this, like coming soon to your social media, you would want to post something like this every day. You want to use the best photo of your home, and you could do something like coming soon sneak peek. If this is an open house, and it would be open house, and it would have the time and the date. Time and dates are very important. If we put this weekend could mean when, Saturday or Sunday. It leaves people asking more questions, right? But you want people to know what day, and they can reach out to you or they can show up. With the whole open houses direct and with our app, we have ways where you are able to, now with Instagram and on your stories, you're able to share a link, and that link will be the Open Houses Direct link. And that information, when people click on that link, it'll pull up all the information on the house. And all of that information is showing your name as the open house agent. Even if the listing agent is someone else, it's okay, but it's going to have your information. It's branded to you. And if anyone wants to reach out to you via the app, then they can do it that way, and you get to capture their information. Other things that you can put on there, like an eye-catching tagline of guard-gated community, or newly remodeled, or something that's going to people want to look at it. And when it's a coming soon, we don't share a zip code. We just want to say Scottsdale, Arizona. We want to keep them wondering, right? Because just know that it's not it's not showing active anywhere yet. So 𝕃𝕖𝕟𝕒𝕒𝕒 does a really good job with this. And every time she'll share it coming soon, I just love it because I'm like, oh my gosh, where is this house? She's sharing an amazing video, pictures, amazing bathroom. And it's like, I want to know where this house is because I want more and more and more. And if you get a chance to follow Nicole on her social media, if you see what she's doing, that's what every agent should be doing, because she's doing it all right. And she learned everything from Shannon and from us with the coaching. You want to also always add your broker, let people know that who your broker is. What I love about the broker is if you tag your broker on a post, they will most likely repost you. And I did see that with one of our coaching, one of the people that, one of our agents that signed up for coaching, I did notice that they, their broker reposted them. And I think it was Realty Executives, it was Jake. And I was pretty happy about that because you never know if your broker is going to pick you up and repost you, then that means that more eyes are shared. You know, you get more eyes will see that post.
Yep.
I always say you want to post it to your feed and your stories. You want to engage with any comments that are posted, anything. You want to let people know that you're always let them know that you're very active. And you can also share video the day before. And if you have an opportunity to get into the house and do a quick video, hold on to that video. You can share that weekend or the day of the open house in the morning or the day before. Just kind of let people know that, oh, wow, you got to come see this. You're going to miss out. And in the video, you can just, if you're going to share it in stories, you can just type in there the information of the house, do the link in bio, and you would use the open houses direct link. That's all branded to you. It's got your information, no one else's information.
So I just, we have a quick question, Maria, from Bridget. And it says, how does a QR code get directed to me from the door hangers? So the door hangers are, our app is the QR code actually directs a consumer to download the app, and then it geolocates that consumer into their house, wherever they are. So that's why neighborhood door hangers or a sign writer with a QR code, if anybody's driving by and it's coming soon and it says open house for information, download this, it actually geolocates them directly to the house. So it's actually how do I get a direct open houses direct link to posts? We're going to be talking about that today at 12 o'clock. We have a tech training every Tuesday. But honestly, you just create your account at Open Houses Direct and you add your open house, and then it creates your marketing landing page for you. I'll do a quick demo of that when Maria's done, but it creates the marketing page for you that you can share on Facebook. You can share it on LinkedIn and Twitter, and you just on Instagram, you do have to do a link tree. So since you can't do
well, on Instagram actually now you can, on the stories, you can share the link in bio, and then that's where you would grab the link from Open Houses Direct to drop it in there. But what we are teaching as part of our training is we are teaching our agents to utilize Linktree, because you're just not tied to one website. And even if you don't have a website, you could, for your open houses, for your coming soons, you could utilize you can utilize Open Houses Direct as one of those links to add to your Linktree. And if you go to 𝕃𝕖𝕟𝕒𝕒𝕒's, she uses Linktree, and she's got a lot of things in there, and I do training on that. And if you have no idea what it is, I'm going to drop my contact information, and we can discuss it. And it's very, very easy to use. One of our agents, we had a meeting about this, and he started using it. He put a video in there. Jake put a video in there, and it looks very professional. It looks very amazing. So that's all part of our coaching.
Yep. And then, so market your open house. You could kind of talk about this, Maria, for a minute.
Yes. So part of the coaching is that, I show you how to market it on Facebook, what you can market in Facebook. don't necessarily, you can't necessarily market it on Instagram. So you can drop an open house direct link into Facebook. It'll populate your house, put in your notes, your information, and post it. Instagram is a little bit more different. I do have shortcuts on how you can share it on Instagram with just your phone and a screenshot, but just to make sure that we are sharing the right information. And worst case scenario, if you're not savvy, you don't have a Canva account and you don't have an Adobe account, and it's just, you don't know how to do it. I also do a lot of coaching, a lot of training on that as well. Once you do have all your information together, share it on Facebook, Instagram. You can also share it on LinkedIn. Nextdoor is another place where Nextdoor allows you to actually create an open house, but you do need to have a business account. And I also do coaching and training on that as well as Linktree. And by the way, all of these links, like the Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Nextdoor, you can share all of those in your Linktree account. So people will have ways to find you.
Yep. Cool. And again, you guys, we have like a 3-week coaching program that Maria sits down with you, gets all of your accounts set up and shows you how to do all this. And so it's just something that is completely, it just makes it so much easier. And Samantha has, what is the difference between handing out flyers and handing out door hangers? It's the same thing. We have a door hanger that you can have. It's just a generically printed one that says, I'm having an open house in your neighborhood. It has a QR code on it, has your information on it. For information, download the QR code at Open Houses Direct for more information, or contact me directly. That's a door hanger. So you can actually mass produce those like 100 to 150 at a time, or 200 at a time. And then you can hand those out at your open house without having to actually create a flyer for each individual open house. But if you want to do flyers, you could also do that. I think door hangers sometimes are a little bit easier to just hang on a door rather than having to print like a actual specific flyer to a property, because those end up being a little expensive unless you have a title partner that's going to do them. But door hangers are a little bit easier to do. So, but that's the difference between them. It's the same thing. It's just a door hanger or flyer. It depends. I think the smaller, the better, in regards to what you're going to put on a door. Okay. So Maria put her information in the chat. And again, she is part of our coaching program, and she's just been awesome.
And are you fasting today, sir?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. I got to mute everybody. Hold on. Who's not muted?
Hungry?
Hold on. Let me find out who it is. Who's not muted?
The one that says iPhone.
The iPhone one. Okay, hold on. Let me find it.
And
Got it. Thank you. I was like, wait a second, that didn't work. Okay, so all right, so we're gonna go into step 3, which is running your open house. And this is a really big thing where you have to set up your signs. I think the biggest thing, which I am seeing with agents, you got to show up early, because I'll tell you right now, people are going to show up. If you have an open house at 1, they're going to be there at 5 minutes to 1, especially if it's a coming soon that just went active. They want to be in the door first. I don't know. They think if they get there early, they have an advantage, but I will tell you that you have to get there early. You also need to get the seller out of the house if it's occupied. You need to get the dogs out, the kids out. And so if we're having an open house at 1, I tell the seller they need to be out by 12:30, and I am there by 12:30 to make sure that they're out, right? This is a really, really big thing. You also want to make sure you have everything you are going to use for checking people in. You want a table set up, you want your tablecloth, you want your app set up, you want everything ready to go. You can have a post on social media. You can actually take a video, like a little early video, which is great. And you can post that live, Instagram live, or on Facebook live. You can do something like that. And also we're going to talk about, but showing up early is a really big deal. And then how to create the velvet rope effect and how to check people in so that we can maximize how many leads we convert. So preparing for the open house is, we want our flyers printed the night before. Title companies will messenger them to your house. So you don't have to go get them. I mean, I know that. So you could just say, give me your home address. I usually have them on my doorstep the night before. Make sure we have an open house box that we train our agents to have. This is something you're gonna have it in your garage or in your car. If you're doing a lot of open houses, you can keep it in your trunk, but there's so many things you wanna make sure you have before you get there. Tape. You wanna have tape in your car, in your box, because if you are holding an open house at a gated neighborhood, you are gonna get there and you are not gonna have a way to tape your name and your phone number to the gate. You will not be able to do it because you want to have tape. And I've had this happen, and everything I'm teaching you, I'm talking about because I've had it happen, right? All of a sudden I'm getting busy Saturday morning. My dog decides he wants to eat something and he's not having a good morning. And now I'm hurrying and I don't have tape. So toilet paper, a lot of these homes are vacant. So I think that's a really big deal on making sure that you have toilet paper in the car, in a box. Hand sanitizer and masks. That is something and also booties. I highly recommend you go and get booties because they are so hard to find. And I have had clients that said, can you make everybody wear booties? I am not going to be doing that the morning of my open house, trying to go to Home Depot. They're sold out. Everybody's sold out. As we know, inventory on a lot of things is really hard to find. Go on Amazon, order a box of booties and have them in your open house box. Because if your client all of a sudden tells you that at the last minute on a Friday afternoon and you have plans Friday night and you're trying to run around Saturday and trying to find the masks, I'm telling you, or booties are the hardest thing. So just go ahead and order those. Business cards, make sure you have those in your box as well. A QR code sign, if you're doing open house direct, make sure that you already have it printed out. I'll show you how to do that really quick. I'll do like a really quick demo on that. Your open house binder, which has all of your partners' information in it, your lender, your title rep, your home warranty company. If you have a moving company you work with, have a flyer for them. There's a lot of moving companies that do a lot of creative things now where in our market, we know of a moving company where they will actually store a seller's furniture for up to 3 months in an air-conditioned storage facility. So that is really big, right? In a market where we might have to sell before we buy, and we might have to move into a temporary rental or whatever it is. So, so there's a lot of things that you're adding value as a realtor. Tablecloth, make sure that you have a tablecloth. Make sure you have music. Get a little Bose speaker. They're $99 on Amazon. Because you want to create an ambiance. If the house is vacant and it's quiet and people walk in, you really want to just put on some nice jazz music, or even what I do, I put music on that is actually, it's more, it kind of goes with the house I'm showing, right? So if it's a really cool, swanky, like 2-bedroom condo in Old Town, maybe I want to put something a little more vibey on it, because of the clientele that's coming in is more like that. If I have like a $3 million luxury listing, maybe a little soft jazz would be great, right? And if it's a lot of times you're going to need that if it's actually vacant, because you're not going to have any way to put music on. So, and a candle is optional. The one thing I do want to say about the candle is if you are going to light a candle and the home is occupied, you need to get a candle approved by the seller, or if they have one, just what I always do is say, hey, I have a candle I can bring, or if you have one, do you mind lighting it or leaving it out, and I'll light it, because they might have their own scents. People are weird. Like I had a lavender candle that I brought to an open house. Again, everything I'm teaching you, I've had happen to me, and you don't know it till it happens. And then I burned it during the open house, smelled great. My seller comes in, she's allergic to lavender. True freaking story. I was like, she's like, did you light a lavender candle in my house? I was like, I did. It's like, oh my God, I didn't know. She says, I'm allergic to lavender. I was like, of course you are, because I knew that. So, things like that where, and she was mad. And I'm trying to be over and above, making sure the house smells really good. And, so anyway, so then map your route. We already talked about that. Make sure that you have a table and a chair. We want to create a reception desk, and we're going to talk about that a little bit more. So I want to talk about partners. I want to talk about lead conversion, right? So AmeriFirst has a plan. If you guys have it, I'm going to put Ryan's information in here, because I will tell you that this helped convert an agent that I was helping on Saturday, helped us convert a buyer just like that. That was really frustrated. And the thing is, we're going to have frustrated buyers that are financed right now. They can't compete with cash. I don't care what price point. These guys are up to $700,000 and they're like, we keep getting beat out because we can't compete as cash and we keep getting beat out by cash offers. So immediately I said, well, why don't you, who's your lender? They said, we didn't even, they honestly didn't even know their lender. That, oh, somebody online, which is what you're going to get a lot. I said, well, here's a lender that I highly recommend you talking to, because they have a way where they will actually purchase the home for you cash, and then you buy it back from them. So the offer you make is a 2-week close cash offer. You're competing against cash offers. Your offer is cash, and then you end up financing it back. So you do have to be completely pre-approved, so they know that you're going to be able to qualify, but they get you completely pre-approved, and then they go, great, here's how much we can actually purchase a home for you for. So your agent now can make a cash offer for you. Talk about a buyer's agent that's working with finance offers. So I gave the client Ryan's information, and they called him, and they're already working on getting pre-qualified. And now we have a new buyer that is like, oh my gosh, how come no other agent shared this with us, that they even had this option, you know? And again, it's just showing that I care about you, and I'm trying to make this work, and I'm trying to help you out. So I'm going to put Ryan's information in the chat. If you want any information on this program, you guys, it is awesome. And talk about a great way at these open houses. We have a lot of buyers out there that are financed, and they're very frustrated on losing to cash offers. I've never seen so many cash offers in my life. I've never seen as many cash buyers as we have in this market right now. It's insane. It's crazy. And so if you are financed, you're a minority, right? Especially because as a seller, you know, our market's everything's inflated, everything's overpriced, and we know we're overpaying for property. So as a seller, do I want to take an offer that's 50,000 over asking that's cash, or do I want to take an offer 50,000 over that's financed, right? And then have it be, you know, the appraisal comes in low and all these other things. So I definitely just want to throw that out, because again, we're adding value at these open houses, and our whole point of being there is to add as many new clients into our pipeline as possible, especially because we don't know what's going to happen with this market. And it's always goes like this. We go up, we go down, we go up, we go down, and there's always going to be a shift. Right now it's sellers. Well, we've had shifts where it was actually having a buyer was the shift, right? So, but it is going to happen. So we really want to talk about the velvet rope effect in action. And really quickly though, I'm going to share with you guys the marketing, how open houses at Direct works really quickly. We have a tech training. Angel or Maria, would you be able to put the tech training Zoom link in the chat? Otherwise I can once I
I'll grab it.
So we have a training every Tuesday at 12 o'clock. It teaches you how to market on Open Houses Direct. This is our Open Houses Direct. Let me get my account here. Okay. So this is what it looks like to market. You can add a coming soon listings. Do not syndicate directly from the MLS. They don't syndicate to anybody. They don't syndicate to Zillow. They don't syndicate to realtor.com, Redfin, nobody. So you absolutely have to manually add coming soon anywhere on the internet in order to do any marketing on it. So in Open Houses Direct, you would go here. If it is coming soon, you just have to add it manually here, and you add it as a coming soon, and we show you how to add it. You can add any images, videos, and like Nicole Kleppe was saying earlier, you know, before she was like, oh, I'd never take an iPhone picture on a coming soon. And now you don't need a lot of pictures for a coming soon in our market. You just need a picture. If it's a really pretty backyard and it's a really pretty, I always take a picture of the front yard with my iPhone and a picture of the backyard if it's really pretty. If it's not, you don't want to take a picture of the backyard, but just a picture of the front of the house is enough for you to begin marketing a coming soon. Because again, the whole point is you want them contacting you. We're trying to generate leads off of our listings, right? So we want to be able to do that. But what's great about Open Houses Direct, you can add a video of who you are, add a video of like the backyard. Maybe it didn't take a good picture. So, and then you would go in here after you add it, it will show up in your other listings as a coming soon. You're going to add an open house on it. And then you go down here, you're going to have a start time and an end time, and then a description. And in the description, you can put anything you want. And that's what's so different about Open Houses Direct. We are consumer direct, just like a Redfin or Realtor.com. But in all those websites that syndicate directly from the MLS, you can't put your contact info. You can't put, your email address. You can't put anything about your open house, like no showings till the open house, or it's coming soon, or contact me directly, or you can't put anything except a date and a time. So if you're doing something exclusive, this is a neighborhood exclusive, open house, then you can add anything like that as well. So you do that. And then the day of, you go in here to run event. This is where we have a check-in system that verifies a name and a phone number for every single person who comes in the door. So we talk about this more. I would go here to run event, and then I would go here to my guest book mode, and I can actually check somebody in here, and it has their name, their email address, and their phone number. Email is not verified because that took too long. We do verify instantly a phone number. And that way, at the end of the open house, you have in Open Houses Direct, which you can syndicate directly to your CRM. You have all of your leads from your open house, and you have the name, the email address, the phone number, whether or not they came in as an agent or unrepresented or represented. You have the address. And then more importantly, we give you a way to take notes on them. Okay. So notes are key, because right now, if you have 25 people coming into your open house, at the end of an open house, if you have a sign-in sheet, you are not going to remember everybody who comes in, and you're not going to remember who's who, period. You're going to get busy. You're going to go out on, let's say this Saturday, you're going out to dinner Saturday night. Sunday, I'm going to follow up, and I remember everybody I talked to. I don't remember who was who, what the names are, right? So you have to put little notes in there the minute you talk to them, and we can actually do this on the Open House Direct app, or you can do it on the website. You can do it on your iPad. You can do it on anything. You can take notes on this client the minute that they walk in, and they do this and they do that. And you can actually add that in there. And then at the end of the open house, we had, again, 12 people come in unrepresented, and all these notes is everything about who they were, right? And about what they were talking about, that this is something that they went hiking after the showing, right? And it was like all these things, and they communicated with us that they just bought a house. And it was so funny that this couple came in, and the wife had actually talked him into going to this open house, and he was in his hiking clothes, and he was so embarrassed that he was like sweaty and hiking anyway. So it was really funny, but now you remember who they are, right? So let me see who the chat is. Is that the Zoom link? Okay, thanks. So that's just a quick demo, but if you guys are interested, Angel did just put the information in the chat for our 12 o'clock Zoom, but we do also have we have a tech training every Tuesday. So if you are a premium agent, do have an account with us, we actually do this every Tuesday at 12 o'clock. So, and we teach you all those things. Maria comes on, she does social media marketing and all that as well. So we're going to talk about the velvet rope effect and why the too open house is a problem, because your open house should never look like that in our market ever. Like that is not doing, and this is probably an occupied property. And, the agent is not getting anything out of that other than a free for all. And I've actually walked into open houses. We have an agent with Keller Williams. When he first wanted to get into our program, I went and I kind of shopped one of his open houses, and I stopped in. He goes, "Stop in my open house." I did. He must have had easily, it was occupied over in Phoenix. It was like an $850,000 listing. And he had easily 25 people in the house. And I said, "How are you checking people in?" He goes, "I haven't checked anybody in. I can't, I'm too busy." And he even had a guy at the door directing traffic. I said, "Why do you have the guy at the door checking everybody in before they come in, at least, so that you don't have all these people?" And he's like, and so at the end of it, I said, "Do you realize how many clients you just lost?" And he probably had a total of 50 people come into this listing. He checked in 2 people. So met me for coffee the next day and said, "Okay, you're right. I mean, how do I do this? How's a better way? I don't have a better way. I don't have a system." Taught him a system, and now he won't do it any other way. He said, "This is amazing." And he said agents come in and look at how he sets up now, and they want to know how he does it, right? So, but now he's just killing it. He's getting neighbors, he's getting sellers, and he's just like, "I can't believe the number of leads I lost at that one listing alone," right? So The to open house is not checking people in. There's only two ways a buyer can see a house. They can either come in to an open house or they can go online and contact an agent. Either way, they should be required to give somebody their information. It is not just a free for all. So, so not checking everybody in, not being able to take notes. You have to take notes on everybody. How are you going to follow up with all these leads if you don't know who anybody is? And also it's a safer way for your seller. It's also a safer way for you, because in the event something gets taken from the open house or whatever, which, you know, they take, there's a lot of things that people take nowadays. You want to have a way to follow up and track everybody that came in. And if you're not requiring people checking in, then, you know, then you're not going to have any way of following up with them. So the assets you need are, you need a table with a tablecloth. You need a check-in required sign. And I didn't show you what we have on Open Houses Direct, but I'll show you what that looks like. Our signs that you can print out with the QR code on them. There's a lot of buyers now that are just so used to downloading a QR code. They come in and they download the QR code and they check in and they're in your CRM instantly. So we have a resources tab here that has all these resources. We have a new QR code sign, and you put this on the table wherever you're checking people in. You can actually print this out in color or black and white. And we put this in a little acrylic stand, and it says check-in required by the seller. So they can either, and if they download the app, then they get instant access to available homes that are up to 30 days before they appear on Zillow. We're getting more coming soons on our platform than any other consumer direct platform right now. And so consumers are finding out that when we do have a house on our platform that is purple, that it is coming soon and it is off market. And it is not on Zillow. So it is becoming a consumer draw. And this is why our app downloads have gone up so much in the past 2 weeks as well, because we are marketing this directly to consumers. So, and there is a really big frustration with buyers right now going to Zillow, looking at a house. By the time it hits Zillow, it goes under contract the exact same day. And it really, I'm telling you, they are really having a hard time with it. And they come in and they're really frustrated. So having a resource to show them doesn't mean they're not going to use you. It just means that you're giving them a resource that they can find something that they might not have found in a regular search, right? So, so check-in sign is great. Check-in device, whether it's a laptop, table, phone, whatever. We always tell people get the Wi-Fi password for the house before you get there. That is something where the minute you get an open house secured by an agent, ask them if there's Wi-Fi, and if there is, you can log in on your if you have an iPad. A lot of people don't have internet on their iPad. So you want to make sure if you are going to use an iPad or a laptop to check people in, that you definitely want to have an internet connection. Internet source, a back-end sign-up option, a phone. Phone is always the easiest. So that's what's great about Open Houses Direct. You could use your phone, your iPad, your laptop, whatever it is, whatever's easy. And like the mortgage lender was saying earlier, having a front desk assistant. If you are going to have a coming soon open house, like the one on Saturday, we had somebody sitting at a table. She checked in 15 people in 2 hours because they all came in at the same time. There's no way you can do that and try and convert leads at the same time. So if you know that you're going to have a busy open house where it's never had an open house on it, it's only been on the market 7 days, it's a coming soon, going active. I'm telling you, a $1.6 million listing got almost 60 visitors the other day. That's insane, right? And it was 1.6 million. So it's all price points. It's not just certain price points. So, but definitely having somebody, like, it's almost like having a greeter, you know, definitely want to do that. Checking in guests at your open house. Again, making sure that you have notes on every single person. If you're running your open house the right way, you will have notes on every single person that comes in. This is an example of what the our reception desk looks like, where Christy was actually checking every single person in. I think Nicole had almost 50 leads in her Open Houses Direct account over 2 days. And that was crazy. So in order to join Open Houses Direct, if you want more information on how it works, you can go to openhousemasters.com/market, and it does have our agent page. So, and then that is the QR code and door sign. So, okay, so we want to talk about, we're actually 11:15. We offer at Open House Masters, we do offer a 3-week accelerated coaching program. And it does have everything from weekly Zoom meetings, one-on-one meetings at your open houses. We really get into how to convert leads, the conversations you're having at your open houses, script playing, role playing, lead follow-up, and all of this. And the agents who are taking this, guys, are just crushing it. And it's so exciting to see where I always kind of talk about, you know, the smallest adjustment in what you're doing can change everything. And it's just, it's a little adjustment to something. If you're already doing open house all the time, but you're not getting the results, we've actually worked with the Keller Williams agent. He's been an agent for 15 years, or I think even longer, maybe 20 years. And, you know, we just met with him, adjusted the smallest thing, and then he exponentially quadrupled the amount of leads he was not only converting, but the number of leads he was having coming in unrepresented, right? And also it's just how he was running it. So, and also it was like the ongoing support and the social media support. And all of those are really, really important when it comes to growing your business. And really in this market right now, the agents who are frustrated that aren't getting leads are the ones that have been relying on online leads for years. We just don't have them anymore. So you have to change with the market. And the market now is people coming into open houses. So, I mean, agents who are doing these are the ones that are continually generating more listings and more buyers every single weekend or every other week when they have a coming soon and they're actually doing an open house on it rather than doing a pocket listing, right? So for more information, I'm going to put my information in the chat. You can go to openhousemasters.com for more information. Our next coaching program is going to begin next Wednesday. But if you want to chat with me directly, I'll put my information in the chat. I'd love to talk to any of you that are wanting to grow your business or get more information or really launch this. March, April, and May are absolutely crazy right now for Arizona. So, and my name is Joseph, show as owner in the upper corner. Hi, Joseph. Did you have a question?
Yeah, what is the cost?
What's
Well,
that?
it's supposed to be my name. It's Joseph Haas.
Hi. Oh, Joseph. Hi, Joseph.
Right. What is the cost for this 3-week program? And when does it start?
It's $1,500 for 3 weeks, but it's also ongoing even after the 3 weeks. And it is going to start next Wednesday. And it involves, and if you go on openhousemasters.com, it has all the information on it. It does include everything from a binder with script play, scripts on how to convert. We do a lot of online marketing help on how you're marketing your open house and all of that. And also if you want to chat with me directly as well, then you can actually chat with me. I'll put my information in the chat, but I'm telling you, every single agent that has actually taken this in the past 3 months has tripled their commission where it pays for itself. And I mean to say that because I'm a coach where I don't want people paying for my coaching program and not really getting something out of it. And if they don't get anything out of it, then, you know, that doesn't really benefit me, nor do I get enjoyment out of that. I really, really enjoy teaching agents what it took me 15 years to learn, but that I know is really good at converting leads and how to market online. So you are getting these buyers and sellers coming in and they're not hijacked online. And there is a way to do it, but there's also a way to convert them when they walk in. And I'll tell you, and I say this, and agents have seen this happen in person where the $1,500 fee is the only option. But that's our coaching program. So if you're interested in Open Houses Direct is only $29 a month. And it is all the leads go to you. We do not sell leads to other agents. Every single open house you have is marketing program. Open Houses Direct is only $29 a month. It's a month-to-month program. And you do not have to be an Open House Masters for Open Houses Direct. Absolutely
Shannon,
not.
are we
So-
offering them $9.99 up until Sunday evening?
Yes,
Sunday?
so yes, so we are doing a promo for everybody on the workshop that if you do sign up for the 3-week program between now and Sunday, it is only $999. We're knocking off the $500 for people on the workshop that have an opportunity to sign up before Sunday. But yes, Derek, there is Open Houses Direct. I just want to make sure everybody knows that that is separate from the coaching. Our coaching program essentially is going to teach you a lot of things for Open Houses Direct, the technology and the app for checking people in. That is a $29 a month program that we have. And then we do our tech training on that every Tuesday at noon. That is included for that $29. So, but I definitely want to, and Angel just put in the chat the promo code for the coaching program. And then I just put my information, you guys, if you guys have any information or want to chat with me more about it, I am available. I put my phone number and my email address in there. I had it in there earlier, but it really is, it's like in our market right now, it's changed. How we convert leads has changed. Oops. And how we market our open houses have changed, but I've never seen, I guess the biggest thing is I'm sorry, I keep missing the C. Hold on. Direct.com. There we go.
Would you explain, would you
Go ahead.
please explain why and how this 3 weeks combined is at 5 days daily, 6 hours a day? Because as I said, some of us have a life outside what
Yes.
we're trying to attempt. How does it?
Absolutely,
stack up?
yeah. No, it is 2 days a week. We have a 90-minute training every Wednesday, and then we have a 90-minute training every Thursday. If you can't attend, because we actually do have clients who aren't able, or agents who can't attend like both days, then hold on, I'm gonna get my charger for my laptop. Then we actually send you the actual recording. We also go out, I go out in the field with you and I sit at an open house with you once. And that I think has been the most beneficial to our students, our coaching agents, is that, you know, a lot of times it's just the smallest adjustment. And I talk about it a lot because my son is a golfer. He's a college golfer. And, you know, he goes to a coach and the coach adjusts the littlest thing. It could be a swing, it could be his posture, it could be whatever. And all of a sudden his game just goes like this, right? And it is exactly the same. Like the agents that I go out and I meet with in the field, that they're already doing a good job. It's just the little fine tweaks that they do. And all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, like, well, one of our agents watched me for an hour and she said, I was doing it. She said, you just convert it, like everybody wanted to talk to you and everybody wanted to do this. And she's like, she goes, at her next open house, that was the agent that had a buyer walk in and actually bought the house from her. She got 9 buyer leads at her next open house. She's like, it was the littlest adjustment. She said, it was just something I wasn't doing right. And it could be your engagement. It could be, you know, the conversations you're trying to have. It could be how you're following up.
You said it starts next Wednesday, you said?
Yes, our next 3-week coaching class. I'm sorry.
How often, if this is hypothetically, I can make it Wednesday because my next week is completely occupied and I don't want to take 4 classes online, you know, from you. If you have it periodically starting so we can plan like 3 weeks out, not to get ourselves in all kind of other, how does that work? How often you offer this to begin?
So we have a coaching program every month. So we do it for 3 weeks. So we always have a workshop in the beginning of the month. And then the second week after we begin our 3-week program. So we go into the 3 weeks right after. So our next one will be probably beginning the second week in April.
Okay.
Right?
See, that would work for me so much better because then I say for the next 3 weeks in April, don't put me in the golf tournaments, okay?
Right. Oh yeah, I know. Trust me. My March and April are crazy. So yeah, but that's definitely, yeah, we have them ongoing. And so we also have workshops as well. It's the beginning of every month, the first Tuesday of every month. We like to do a workshop and then we like to launch our program the next 3 weeks after that. And now I'm telling you, March and April, you guys, there's so many people coming into town in March. They're not only coming here for vacation, they're coming here to buy a house. And open houses are just the way that out-of-town buyers get to know a neighborhood. They get to know the area. They get to know so much. So, and then you're unable to log into the site, Derek. Are you creating an account as a realtor in Open Houses Direct?
I did when I signed up for the workshop.
You went into Open Houses Direct?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't get the initial link, so that's why I'm trying to figure it out. But when I tried to log back in, it said your brokerage and your email is already set up. So
Okay, well, why don't we I'll go online if you want to hang out for a minute afterwards. I can actually help you with your account. So
sure.
I can go into the admin panel, make sure you're logged in. But yeah, Open Houses Direct, you guys, is you just go to openhousesdirect.com, sign up there. Or you can also go to openhousemasters.com/market. And that is where you can also find information about what the app is and what it does. We also have an annual membership. I'll tell you, I have a lot more agents signing up for that now. It's $19 a month if you pay annually, which is $240 a year. And that means you get to market as many open houses as you want for the whole year with all the leads going to you. So that is an option as well.
I just
So-
want to say, since I've joined Shannon's coaching, I've tripled my business easy. It's the best decision that I've ever made for myself. So I highly encourage you guys to reach out to Shannon one-on-one. She did put her information in the chat, but it has completely changed the way that I hold open houses and the way that I run my business.
It will, and it will, you'll be surprised. What I find is that agents are just getting more people coming in without agents, which is what we want, right? But also if they come in and you don't convert them, then really, I mean, you just have to look at, we have to work smarter, not harder in this industry. And if you're going to be there, if I'm going to take my Saturday and I'm going to be there for 4 hours, I think in the past, when I was a younger agent and I didn't really know a lot about what I was doing, I just thought everybody said open houses are the way you're going to generate leads and you're going to get clients. So I would just show up. I'd show up right on time, right? Which would be horrible. And, I put my signs out. I wouldn't be prepared. I wouldn't have any flyers, wouldn't know anything about the house. And then I'd sit there for 4 hours, right? And I wouldn't get any leads. Right. And then I'd go home and I'd be like, okay, that was 4 hours out of my Saturday, where, if you're not going to get anything out of it, you just look at your time. And if you're really going to sit there on a Saturday for 4 hours, make sure that you are there for a reason. Why am I here? Why am I here today? And if I'm here so I can grow my business and I can get in front of as many potential clients as I can, I want to be able to market it the right way so people aren't walking in the door with agents. But I also want to be, prepared in a way that people are going to want to work with me, right? Because otherwise there's not really a reason to be there. And so I think that that's a really, really big thing. That's a big thing we need to be focusing on, because I'll tell you, as a realtor, we work Saturdays and Sundays, right? And you have to be excited about that, because that's when, Mondays are my kind of day. I don't ever get a day off, as everybody knows, but it is my kind of down day, right? Whereas if you are working on a Saturday and Sunday, I don't want to work on Saturday and Sundays. I want to be golfing. I want to be doing other things, but I know that I have to, because that's how I'm going to generate the most number of leads. You have to really want to be there. You want to enjoy being there, and you want to be prepared so that every single person that comes in at our open house on Saturday with this agent, we got 12 people come in that don't have agents, and we probably are easily going to convert 10 of them easily. And 3 have houses to sell, and they are hunting us down. We are so busy, we can't even follow up with them yet. And they're texting us, hey, we never got your email. Hey, we never did this. Hey, we just want to make sure you have our contact information right. That's what you want to have happen at an open house. You want people that are so impressed with you that they want to work with you, that they're hunting you down. And that's where they need to have your information. They need to have your contact info, but you also added so much value, and you truly acted like you cared about them, no matter what price range they're in, that they want to work with you. Because I really think a lot of buyers feel unappreciated right now. And a lot of buyers won't even tell agents that they have a house to sell. right? Until they really get comfortable. And then they're like, oh, well, we also have a house we have to sell. Would you come look at our house? All of a
Shannon,
sudden,
do you have an office someplace?
do I have an
Physical
office?
No, not your home. I'm talking about a physical
Ah.
office.
Hold on, I'm gonna move in the other room because my computer's about to die. Sorry, guys. Let me go back in here. I wasn't here. Hold on.
I think
I'm
it's
gonna
so great. We've just kind of created this community of open house agents. We have a Slack group and we refer open houses, and it's been a life-changing experience for me, for sure.
There we go. Okay. Uh-oh, that's not working. Why is that not working? Okay, well, my computer's about to die. I don't know where. Wait a second. Let me see if I can plug this one in. I don't think that's not gonna work either. Uh-oh. Okay, well, all right. Well, it's 11:30. So Angel, if you could chat for 1 second, I'm gonna find my charger here.
I mean, does anybody have any questions as far as open houses direct or open house masters, or is anyone doing any open houses this weekend?
But one of the things is probably the most difficult, and I'm relatively new. I've been in the hotel industry for 50 years. So,
Awesome.
but the technology aspects as far as apps and keeping record and so the technology information and training is probably as crucial for me as
Right.
it's not the personal contact, the follow up, but the effort and all these other things. It's just all these different links get together.
Right.
And when you're new agents like I am, it's been overwhelming from not just from the 90 hours we took the test and so forth until we got here. And I was on a 4-hour Zoom meeting yesterday trying to educate me. For me, it's an education process. But the other thing is also there's so much media inclusion from Facebook to Twitter to, and everybody's on LinkedIn and Facebook, but then there's the Twitter and there's the upload
Instagram,
and the download. And so, and I don't know if any one of my colleagues or your colleagues out there have experienced the same.
Right.
It's not frustration, it's anticipation.
The learning curve, it
Yeah.
definitely takes time. There's so much to learn, and it's just kind of like, one thing at a time. You try to get 1% better every day. And that's why this group's so great, because Shannon's amazing. She's been in the industry for 15 years, and she created this app based on her own personal issues she was having. And she really does care about us and building our businesses. And that's why every Tuesday we have our tech training. So I encourage you to jump on as many as you can. We kind of take you through the entire app and how to upload a listing and how to market it properly on social media. We have Maria that's on that will, kind of maybe audit your social media page, kind of let you know how you're doing and kind of help you build that up as well. So yeah, we just we'll take you through it. That's what the 3-week program is for. And, we kind of go over the first week, how to create, how to properly prepare for your open house. And then how to, week 2, we teach you how to market it. And then week 3, we will personally, Shannon or I will sit the open house with you and kind of just take you through the entire process and just make sure that you get it down 100% so that, there's no way that you won't be successful.
So it's 3 weeks, twice a week, 6 hours, or what is it?
Yeah,
4 hours?
yeah, but that's just our meetings. That's just our meetings.
Correct.
So
It's an
I'm
hour and a
available-
half Wednesdays and Thursdays.
Yeah, and then
Okay.
I'm available for an open house on the weekend, either on a Saturday or
I'll
Sunday.
put it in the chat.
So- What's that?
I'll
Yeah.
put the times in the chat.
Yeah, so we actually, those are our meetings that we do, but you have full access to me, and I come out and I'll sit in open house with you. And I think that's the most valuable, I think, for agents, is that it's just sometimes the littlest thing that helps you convert. And I know one of our agents who just completed our program, and he was on here earlier, but he was the one that now is engaging a lender, and the lender was like, oh my gosh, I set up an office in his open house and now it's working for both of them, right? They got all these leads. He's helping them with their lending. He gives them to Jake, and Jake, after his first one, he called me. He was so excited on Sunday. It's just so cute. It's like and I'm so excited to hear from him. And he goes, that was the most confidence I've ever had in open house. He goes, I killed it. I got these. How do I got to follow up with all these? And then, he just said, can you help me follow up? And I said, absolutely. I want to give you as many clients and conversions as possible, So I kind of went over with him what the follow-up should look like, that the follow-up, you need to have a call to action. It's like anything else. If I get a text from one of my friends and it just says, hey, and I don't text them back. They can't get mad because it's not like, well, you didn't ask me anything, whereas if somebody texts me back and says, how are you? And then I don't text them back, right? That's a little different because there's a call to action. They're asking me to respond. And it's the same way in follow-up. Like you have to have a reason, you want to give them a reason to follow up with you, right? And text you back. And I think the number one thing that happens with realtors is they have these open houses and these leads are just pouring in. They don't have a way to track them. They don't have a way to follow up with them. They don't have a way to keep track of who is who, and then they lose them.
Well,
And
I also want to say
open
too,
houses right now, we just have too many leads coming in
Right.
that are hot. They're
well,
hot.
we've integrated with 𝕼𝕟𝕉𝕒. I mean, you can use whatever CRM you prefer, but now you can save it as a CSV file, all of the guests that come in, and just transfer it straight over into your CRM. It's amazing.
Yeah. So I really think that that it's just one of those things where, I mean, it's like you got to be ready though for the number of leads, because you
Well,
got
I don't want to comment the
and that's what's good
conversation,
about.
but Derek, what is your thought? I see your blackboard in the back there, your roadmap, what you got. So I feel like I'm taking over the conversation, which is not the case.
No, we're already done.
I
with
want
the
to know as
workshop,
much as
so,
I can,
yeah.
because if I commit
okay.
myself, that's what I do,
Yeah.
Derek, what do you think?
So I've been in business about as long as Shannon has, have my own small boutique brokerage. And I would say having a system in place like what they have for the open house is really the only way for you to continue to be viable. Because if you're just hit or miss with your process, your clients will realize that and not see the value in hiring you. So this is something that I needed to step into if I want to continue to find sellers and market myself as a listing agent.
Exactly. And I think that's where a lot of agents are missing the boat, because we're getting as many sellers as we are buyers at these open houses. And but you don't want them coming in and going to another agent online. And that's where you're marketing it the right way. But man, you convert them. Sellers are, I mean, there's just so much that I coach agents on, because the conversion right now is knowing this market, knowing the frustration with buyers, knowing the frustration and the nervousness with sellers. Like, well, if I put my house on the market and I sell, how am I going to buy? And it's like really teaching them that, we can do rent backs. We can do a lot of things. Making a contingent offer is not going to happen in this market unless you're going to buy something that there's something wrong with it, right? You've got to be cash, or you have to be financed non-contingent. So if you're contingent on the sale of your home, we got to sell your house and then we got to figure it out. But a contingent property, contingent offers are just, I mean, I don't know anybody that would accept one right now. So, but being able to say, I'm your resource, let's work on it. Let's see what we can do, like that, compete as cash, like that thing is amazing, and as long as you're pre-qualified, you're ready to go, then you can now make a cash offer and you can get it accepted. And those are game changers. I mean, like buyers are so excited with stuff like that, and being able to add a resource, be that resource for them, because I'll tell you right now, a lot of agents that just sit in open house, they're not going to be able to give them a resource like that because they don't have one. So being able to partner and having partners is just so key. So
do you have any restrictions if, like I'm with HomeSmart, do you have any restrictions regarding signage and the branding and those type of things? Are you completely?
You just have to, with HomeSmart, you can only hold open houses for HomeSmart agents.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You can go out to anybody else. We at HomeSmart, we only can sit with HomeSmart agents. Right.
So our door hangers and sign writers they don't have any branding on them. They just have a QR code. So our sign writer says open house, and then it says for information, download the QR code. That's all it says. It doesn't have anything about Open Houses Direct. It just says download the QR code, but then it obviously takes them to Open Houses Direct, which geolocates them right to your open house. So, but the follow-up, I'll tell you, having a phone number has been a game changer for every single person that comes into your open house, because text messaging, like I said, is instant. And you can hold open houses for other brokerages, Bridget, at HomeSmart. I didn't think you could.
No,
Can with permission from both brokers.
Oh, as long as you get permission. Okay.
Written permission.
Yeah,
I didn't know if you could or not. Everything, yeah, so if I was wrong on that, I totally admit it, because it's gonna be,
Well, I was
every
told,
brokerage is specific to what they
I
can
was
do.
told that we cannot have for other brokerage firms for like West USA or whatever, USA West. But at this point.
Yeah,
if
but
I
either
see
way, I
open
mean,
houses for
HomeSmart has enough
HomeSmart, I'm okay.
opportunities
Right,
that you probably wouldn't have to go outside of HomeSmart.
Sure.
I think it's just smaller indie brokerages that are more, are more into that, so, than anything else. So, but that allow it because they have to allow it because of the inventory. I know I do a lot with True Realty, and True Realty allows their agents to hold open houses with other brokerages. So, so it's going to be brokerage specific, but it's really important that you do make sure that you do ask your broker, because you really want to make sure that you're not holding open houses
I
cross.
still need to follow the same process, okay?
Yes,
Otherwise,
I
it's not
know.
gonna work,
Yep,
you
yep.
know?
So well, we have a tech training for Open Houses Direct starting at noon. So if any of you want to get on, we did put the link in the chat. If for whatever reason you don't.
But I wish you would have known.
I know.
really
Well, we
wish you
have
would
it.
known.
We
But,
have it
you know,
every Tuesday.
Shannon, I will
So-
call you if you allow me. I would call you just to follow up on this because
Yeah.
I really do. I'm interested, okay, in more levels than one, but but as I said, it's just so much for me to take in at this point, but you will hear from me, okay? And again, it says
I
owner
know.
on the top there, it's Joseph, okay?
It is a lot. Yes, Joseph, very nice to meet you, and very
Nice
nice to meet
meeting you.
everybody. If anybody, again, has any questions on Open Houses Direct or Open House Masters, please, you have my information in the chat. It's pretty easy. It's Shannon@openhousesdirect.com. So, and my phone number is in there too. So you guys are welcome to reach out to me. And yeah, I'm excited to see more of you on board. And yeah, it's a great
We'll
time.
see you at noon.
Yeah,
Great.
if you want
See
to
you,
come at
Derek.
12 o'clock, you can come at 12 o'clock. Thank you, Angie.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Bye,
Shannon.
ladies.
Thanks,
Oh,
guys.
by the
Bye.
one other thing, can we
Yes.
get this program transferred to
Yes.
our email?
Yes,
Please
yes.
make sure we get
Yes.
it, okay? Because it's
Yes.
so much importance in
I
there.
know, it's a lot of
Okay.
information. Yes,
Thank
we
you.
will email everybody that registered
Right.
for the workshop a recording, so you can rewatch this at another time, because I know it is a lot of information, so to
Thank-
take in a night in 2.5 hours. Okay, all right, bye, guys, have a
Can you-
good
Can you
afternoon.
help me with login?
Yes, I will help you with login. So Derek, I'm gonna send you another Zoom link. So give me 2 seconds and I'll figure out what's going on with your account.
Okay.
So actually I can stay on. I'm gonna pause my